And boom.
We're live.
Boom, we're live.
Boom, we're live.
Coming to you July 29th. We are 2 days away from Fight Night Vegas 33.
Tweeted that boom, we're live on my own.
And we are 9 days away from UFC 265. Just coming off a pretty exciting pay-per-view. I fucking fell asleep for like almost the whole thing. But the main event was pretty good. It was a good fight. It wasn't what I expected the fight to be.
I'm pissed.
But
royally
pissed.
Royally pissed.
Let's
Fuck
jump right
the
into it.
UFC
Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this Dillashaw Sandhagen fight.
Sorry. Fuck the UFC judges.
Sal
They don't
D'Amato.
know what they're doing.
Sal D'Amato. Did you see what was
don't-
up with Sal D'Amato?
What?
So Sal D'Amato is one of the Vegas judges.
Yeah.
When they go to Vegas.
Yeah.
That's one of the, and they mix it up like every time. They have a bunch of different judges. But
Yeah.
Sal D'Amato is one of the most experienced UFC judges. He scored the last two fights. And I didn't get to watch this fight, but it was Paiva versus Phillips.
Yeah.
From what I remember, Phillips dominated the first round, but he ended up losing the fight.
I think it was the first 2 rounds he dominated, it looked like.
So Sal D'Amato gave Dillashaw the victory.
Yeah.
He gave Paiva the victory, whereas the other two judges scored Kyler Phillips with a 10-8 round in the first. And he had Paiva winning the first round.
Really?
Right. So this guy had a couple questionable calls, and then I can't remember exactly what the last one was. What up, Colby?
What up? What up?
If you want to grab a chair somewhere over there. But yeah, he had a couple questionable then, and I can't remember the exact fight, but there was one fight like last pay-per-view that he fucking was so bad for the judges' scoring card.
Yeah.
So that's a name to watch out for as a judge. Sal D'Amato. What's up, homie? How you doing?
What up?
What up?
Peacing,
So
chilling.
we're jumping right into Dillashaw Sandhagen. We
Ah.
literally just started. You
Okay,
got here
good.
at the fucking
I thought it
great
was-
time. You need water?
Nah, I'm all set. Thank you. Though.
I'm not as upset as Dillashaw winning. You know,
You're upset with
compared to Macy Barber winning. You know what I mean? Because Macy Barber winning,
That was a rough. I gave the first 2
that
rounds
is
to
bullshit.
I
That
gave the
is-
first 2 rounds to
That
Maverick.
is bullshit. That
Someone's
is
phone's on the
bullshit.
ground.
That's fine.
Okay.
Barber got takedowns. She got, I think, 2 takedowns it was. I could look up the stats for that, but they weren't significant. She didn't hold
almost finished her in
position.
the second round.
Yeah.
She had top mount. I don't get how they can score that for her to. I don't know.
And
It
I
is
didn't
what
even
it is,
I didn't
but-
even get to see that fight totally. I'm bringing up the
Yeah.
stats right now though. Total strikes, Miranda Maverick landed 82 to Macy Barber's 38. Significant strikes, 47 to
Bro.
36 in favor of Maverick. Takedowns, 1 for 1 for Maverick, 1 of 6
Bro,
for
Wow.
Macy
How-
Barber.
dude,
Those stats.
How?
Those stats.
How?
Kind of
Yeah.
fucked up.
how?
And the takedown for Macy Barber was she kept her. I forget. I think it's a Windsor. Miranda Maverick kept her Windsor and stood back up from the takedown. So
Yeah, you're right. I remember that.
it was.
All right, so here's a
It's
more
weird.
deep breakdown of the fight. Macy Barber had a lot of clinch attempts. No ground strikes at all. Was there any ground control at all in this fight?
Doesn't look like it.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I didn't watch this fight. I got to Dylan's right after this.
It looked to be standing.
So control time, Barber had
Dude.
2.5 minutes to Maverick's minute and a half.
Look at the landed by target.
Was
83%.
so Barber had 6 takedown attempts. She only landed 1, same with Maverick, 1 of 1. But was Macy Barber just more active?
1 minute.
And in
Ma-
the final round, she was. Yes.
Maverick has way more strikes, 100%. And
In the final round, she was more active, but the first 2 rounds, it was Miranda Maverick going out.
Dude.
so in the
And-
third round, right here, we have Barber landing 13 of 40, Maverick landing 9 of 34. That's just to the head, and the rest was pretty even. There was a lot of clinch work by Macy Barber. I can see that.
Was sure back against the cage.
Which
Miranda
is
Maverick.
interesting because
that's-
TJ
that's the-
Dillashaw had a lot of control time, and
I
he
think-
won a
yeah,
kind of
dude.
questionable decision as well.
Control time against the cage is one of the things that I'm not too big on.
See,
big
here's
on
the
the
thing:
UFC.
me neither. But that's part of your strategy. You know, that's
It looks
that's
like it
winning
works.
on points.
It looks like it
like
fucking
shit. You're
I
controlling
don't-
someone.
I don't look at the UFC as something that anybody ever wants to see go to points. You know, a fight. You want it to be decided via
Are
submission.
you gonna?
That takes out what I look at the UFC as cool for. Like, so I'm going in to see somebody get finished by submission, by knockout, TKO.
Did you see what I shared with you on Instagram?
No.
We're gonna get back to this, the fight night. We're gonna be talking about all the pay-per-views coming up. We're gonna have a lot to talk about today. I just want to bring this up real quick because I sent this to Mark. I want you guys' opinions on it. Tony Ferguson versus Nate Diaz in a 10-round fight.
Oh.
Who wins?
What?
Oh, it's Nate Diaz.
No,
It's
dude.
totally Nate Diaz.
I have Ferguson, dude.
I don't know.
Because
Gaethje was able to bust Ferguson.
what weight class? did
Let's
they
see.
get?
I got Nate Diaz.
See, that would be the question. I would think.
170.
I would
be lit.
think it would be welterweight.
Fuck it. Just make a 165 at that point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is
They
something
fight.
that Colby and Poirier have said they're
Yeah.
gonna try too.
Getting a little off topic.
Right, we are.
Keep
yeah.
going. I kind of like this.
I don't know.
Um,
I think I would have Ferguson.
In a 10-round
Sorry.
fight. Those are like the only two guys that I really feel confident could go 10 rounds. There's a
Well-
couple other like smaller guys.
Nate Diaz and Nick Diaz.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe Nick Diaz.
Maybe not.
Maybe.
We're gonna
He's
see.
a little out of the range.
We are gonna see. Well, actually, I think it's only a 3-round fight.
Yeah, but still,
Right. We're gonna see
fight.
how he
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
I don't think Chris Martino would stop.
Chris Martinez one. He could fucking do it. I
Dude.
think. I really
Yeah.
do. That guy-
Don't.
that
Don't.
guy is
Don't.
like-
Dude, no, he got to work on his defense.
Yeah.
Dominic Cruz and Sean
No
O'Malley
lie, he got to work on
have
that.
been talking
Yeah,
about
that'd be-
having a fight.
Who?
Didn't
Dominic Cruz and Sean O'Malley.
Didn't he retire?
No.
He didn't.
He just won a fight
Who retired?
against. Can't remember who it was, but he was shouting out like Monster Energy at the end of the fight, and Joe Rogan was
Yep.
trying to cut it off, and he's like, "It's Monster Energy or some shit."
Every
Getting
time he
that
says
bread.
it, he gets it.
Getting
Like
that bread.
What, fucking $10,000?
Something. Yeah, probably more. Right.
Dude. Yeah, I don't know who I have in that fight. I think I got Cruz.
I think I
Yeah, I
got.
got Cruz.
Oh, and the Cruz O'Malley.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it hasn't been scheduled yet, but they've been talking about it, and I know that there's been conversations
Love
in the
Sean
UFC about
O'Malley,
it.
though. Love him.
Good
I
character. Yeah.
don't know, because the kind of fighter you want against Sean O'Malley, because Sean O'Malley he's not world-class striker, but he's getting there. He has great reach and great striking.
He's 5'11".
Is he a world class
Yeah, he's giant for that
kickboxer?
weight class.
O'Malley, no.
He's getting good.
But he's almost a world-class boxer.
Because he's really good at beating people up that don't have good defense.
But here's the thing, Dominic Cruz
He's got an
has,
iron chain.
Dominic
He is
Cruz
really
has
good.
maybe the best head movement I've ever
Then they're
seen.
fucked.
Dominic Cruz's style, as far as switching stances and head movement,
he's
is pretty
shifty.
amazing.
Really
He's
shifty.
also
Can he
36
take
now, and Dominic Cruz is a good wrestler.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I
if
thought
there
he
is a
was.
style that could beat Sean O'Malley, it's Dominic Cruz. Not to mention, Dominic Cruz is also tall. There's not much of a reach advantage for Sean O'Malley, which he almost always has.
Dominic Cruz.
There's a few guys that will definitely, as we
I
get
bet
closer
the
to the top
fucking
five,
beat
that
on
could
that.
really fucking mess up O'Malley. But he's still like what, 26? He's still
Yeah,
young.
he's young as fuck. That being said, I think Dominic Cruz beats Sean O'Malley.
Yeah, for sure. I don't even.
I don't think it's for sure because I think O'Malley could knock him out, but I think that Cruz would beat him in a decision.
I think Cruz
Well,
takes him down to the ground. That control time obviously makes a fucking difference. If you want to talk about Miranda Maverick again, shit.
Yeah, that's probably my biggest. My biggest issue is control time against the cage. Like, it makes sense, but if you're not landing significant blows while you're controlling against the cage, like Dillashaw, we saw that fight. Dillashaw had Sandhagen with his chest against Sandhagen's back, unable to take him down for the majority of the fight.
Now, when you say unable to take him down, I would challenge the fact that he might not have been trying to take him down the whole time. He was trying to get control time. What was
Stalling.
Corey Sandhagen
Call
doing?
stalling. They have it in wrestling. They have it
If
in every
Dillashaw
other.
was stalling, Corey Sandhagen was absolutely stalling.
Dude, Corey Sandhagen almost won in the first round. I
Every
think people
single time
forget that.
Dillashaw tried to get close,
Oh yeah.
Corey Sandhagen just gave him his back
Stopped it.
every time.
Yeah, I think they both. I think a ref intervention for that would help.
I think so too. We could have
We
definitely
need
seen
a
a ref
fucking
step in.
judge intervention.
But Dillashaw was active. And he was kneeing the
judges.
knee and he was going for takedowns or sweeps. But yeah, I think once or twice, I can't remember who the ref was, but if they had stepped in, that probably would have been a good call.
It's probably Herb.
TJ Dillashaw is now ranked number 2 in the bantamweight
Yeah,
division,
baby. My guy.
pushing down Sandhagen 2-3,
wow.
Yeah.
keeping Rob
That's
Font
tough.
below Sandhagen.
Wow.
Cody Garbrandt moves to 6. Sean O'Malley moves out of the top 15.
Now,
Really?
is Jose Aldo and Rob Font fighting?
UFC 265 coming up
No,
August
he's
7th
fighting.
is Jose Aldo Pedro Munoz.
Oh, okay.
And that is a great fight,
That's a
I
good
think.
I don't know.
Pedro Munoz 9,
I got all
Jose Aldo 5. I got Munoz.
Man, I think I've said Aldo. That was pound.
This is
At
all
one
those.
point in time,
I had good
he was
picks
pound
last
for
week,
pound.
so.
This is all
5 years
those.
ago. 5 years ago, pound for pound best.
This is all those third fight at bantamweight, I believe. He lost to Moraes. He lost to Piotr Jan. Oh, he beat Chito Vera, which is Chito Vera's decent. It's decent.
Wow, 194.
And now he's fighting Pedro Munoz.
194.
Oh,
strikes?
Piotr Jan fucked up Jose Aldo. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably pretty rough.
Oh
to see.
my god.
Yeah, he's had some. I mean, he's still.
194.
You
Marlon
want to talk
Vera,
about a
like-
good loss resume? Aldo has
Yeah.
a great loss resume.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, those are two of them are champs.
Max Holloway, Volkanovski.
Yeah, so
that's insane.
And the
All right,
Marlon
all right.
Moraes is very questionable. Like, there's a lot of people that go on record and say that Jose Aldo should have beat
Yeah.
Moraes, if not for the judge's
Yeah.
decision.
Now, by the looks of this, if Munoz beats Aldo, what's Munoz's projection?
I think. All right.
Is he
So
gonna
right
be
now,
one of the best? Because
So-
by the looks of his, you know,
so Pedro
Top
Munoz
five.
is 34, turning 35 next month. He is number 9. Where am I going? He's number 9 in the division, fighting number 5. I think if he beats Aldo, Garbrandt moves to 5.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Munoz goes to 6, and Aldo's somewhere probably like 8.
It's probably above Marlon Moraes. No, wait, he lost to Marlon, so he probably goes.
He did, but that was a
just under.
questionable loss, so I wouldn't be surprised if he does go above him. Marlon Moraes is also fighting very soon too. Marlon Moraes just had a fight added to, I believe, UFC 266. He's fighting Merab Wallace-Willie, and that's going to be a very interesting fight. That is the striker versus the grappler.
Yeah.
Moraes being the striker, Wallace-Willie being the grappler. Wallace-Willie also, I believe, younger, and he started to make a name for himself. Like, he just got in the division. I think he's on a 3-fight win streak. So that's another interesting. The bantamweight division
Yeah, it's good.
really started popping
Really
off
good.
a couple months ago. Like, really started popping
Yeah, it's
off.
a nice
Yeah.
list now.
is
It
popping.
really is.
What's the least popping off
Probably light heavyweight,
division?
unfortunately.
Light
Yeah,
heavyweight, you
shocker,
could
though.
say it's light heavyweight, but with the announcement of Thiago Santos, Johnny
Yeah.
Walker, that's interesting.
That top
We
5.
got Jimmy Crew
That
all the
top
way
five's
down
decent.
here.
The top
Jerry
7.
Prochazka,
I like Anthony
future
Smith.
champion.
All right,
Calling
so-
it now.
We got from Johnny Walker up. Light heavyweight's even looking good. We just
Right.
haven't been hearing a lot. of
Just
it.
So
really
that's why I
good.
think it's heavyweight.
Jerry
I don't know.
Listen,
Heavyweight's
listen,
crazy
the
right
top
now.
4 in heavyweight.
Heavyweight?
The
Well,
top
yeah,
4 in
top four
heavyweight is
heavyweight's insane.
ridiculous, but after that,
5. What is it? Hang on.
5 is Volkov, just lost
Yeah.
to
No,
Cyril
Rosenstrike, come on.
He's kind of ass.
Gain just be
they're all
Volkov, right?
good. I'm not saying they're all good, but
No, they're
popping off
noticeable.
as far as marketing right
Yeah.
now,
Yeah,
Walt
for
Harris
names.
is
Yeah.
Rosenstrike is really good.
There's
He has
nothing
great power.
past Rosenstrike actually.
Right. Marcin
Augusto
Tibur is
Sakai,
good.
Like
Marcin
Walt
Tibur is
Harris,
good.
gas out first
Walt
round.
Harris is on 3-fight losing streak.
Really?
Paul Harris.
John Jones is
Nowhere
taking
to
a
be
year
found.
off. Francis Ngannou isn't even defending his belt right now.
Yeah, that's
Like,
weird,
Yeah,
isn't
because
it?
he has a bad manager. That's what Dana White said.
I
He's
think
that
it's because
agent.
no, it's because Ngannou and Jones want to fight each other, but White doesn't want to cough up the dough. That's what it is. That's
Oh,
totally
so
not
they're
the
just-
decision.
Striking.
Dana's working his magic.
Dana is
The best promoter.
Dana.
When
No,
Dana hates a
well,
fighter, he
yes.
hates a
And he
fighter.
But
knows how to get
Dana-
his way, dude. He's just the best guy. Best
Dana
business
is
guy.
rightfully so cheap. This is what it is. That's his job to be cheap. It's not a bad
He's got a
thing.
lot of people on a roster.
Listen, John Jones
giving a lot of
versus
people
Francis
jobs,
Ngannou will sell 1 million to 1.5 million pay-per-views.
I'd say at least 1 million.
You have to make that a super card, though. You have to put something else on there that's
Right.
gonna really
And I
push it.
listen, the UFC's been doing like 2 title fights like every other pay-per-view.
How about McGregor Diaz 3 on that card?
It's too
Yeah,
far
nah.
away. We got to see when it is. John Jones says he's taking a year off. And then
Connor's,
I think-
his
and
leg
then
is snapping in half.
Dana White has put himself in such a predicament. He's saying that Ngannou gets the winner of Game Lewis, which we will talk about very soon. And then Stipe gets the winner of that. So like the heavyweight division's clogged for the next year,
Yeah,
It
basically.
is stuffed up.
Dana White needs to come up with a new division.
Super
Super
heavyweight.
heavyweight.
Keep bumping into it.
I'd love a
Super
super
I've done that
heavyweight.
fucking like 5
Francis Ngannou.
Would it-
super heavy.
Now let me ask you this: if we got a super heavyweight, would it be 265 and up, or
Yeah, a super heavyweight. Yeah.
or
That's scary.
do we want to do like 250 to 300?
Nah, I want
Whoa.
unlimited after that.
You do?
Yeah.
260.
You want
I'd
to
love
see
to
some
see
400-pound
sumo.
bodybuilder
No,
go up
fuck
against
yeah.
a 250 pounder?
I don't.
I would.
Yeah.
I don't.
I would fucking watch
I'd
that.
fuck-
If he's
Fine.
willing to not cut the weight to 265,
Here's
then
what-
do it.
Eddie Hall.
Here's what I
versus
think
Stipe.
though. What if Francis Ngannou
Doesn't have to cut.
Doesn't have to cut. Comes in at 290.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's a scary
What if this
man.
guy literally is walking around like this, and he, he's deadlifting 600 pounds and squatting 500 because he doesn't have to cut weight, and he's eating all what he wants to eat.
We get to see all the Cameroonian fighters. Because, by the way, apparently, like, fucking Cameroon has just muscles in their water.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there's a new arm wrestler on the scene just destroyed this fucking kid called
Muscles
Schoolboy.
in their water.
And he never even arm wrestled, like, in his fucking life. Just fucking crushed this dude's arm.
I suck to it.
Okay.
Cameroon
So-
might just have
Imagine
something
that.
in the water.
You know more about
In the sand.
steroids. You know more about steroids than me.
I don't take them, but I would
Yeah, but
And I will.
And he probably
Right.
knows more
in
than
the
any of
future.
us here.
I mean, just kidding.
You probably will. But
When I'm like 40, why not?
yeah. Do you think like Nagano's ever done steroids?
I don't know.
Does
I
it
don't
look
think
like
so.
he's ever done it?
Dude, he's a freak of nature.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
That's hard to tell,
Just a
man.
freak.
That's so.
I know
hard
it's
to
totally.
tell.
I know.
his
I
traps
know.
aren't like
Has John
mountains and his
Jones taken
shoulders aren't.
steroids? Maybe, but can you really say for sure?
He's probably taking something.
Just
What-
from
what
just
type
from
of
the
PT?
looks I'm saying,
Yeah.
not the bops. I'm saying just from
okay.
looking at him. Like, does it look like he has?
Yeah,
I'm
not
just
at all.
gonna bring
He looks, he looks
Like
kinda
Adesanya.
normal.
Listen,
like,
if
Adesanya's
Paulo-
Depends on how you
pectoral,
use 'em.
like that time, his pectoral muscle.
That was Gyno.
If Paulo Costa has
What's
never
that?
gotten bopped for steroids,
Development of female breasts.
there has to be some
He's
kind
just
of way
chiseled,
around
but
it.
no, I don't
Pretty
know.
gross looking.
So
You think Paulo Costa's
I don't know,
on
man.
roids?
I don't know enough.
I think Paulo Costa has taken some supplements in his life, and I'm
Oh,
like
creatine.
that.
creatine.
Yeah.
Listen, that guy made Yoel
Why hasn't he
Romero
done
look
that to
skinny.
me?
That guy made Yoel Romero look
No, yeah,
skinny.
you're right.
He did. He's
a
bloated.
big- He's a big boy.
Yeah.
Maybe it's in the wine.
How
I
is,
don't know.
How
Maybe
tall
it's
is
in
he?
the
How is he
Yeah.
only?
Paulo Costa, he's only like
185.
5'10", 5'11".
He has such a short reach.
Adesanya had an 8-inch reach advantage on him.
Wow.
All right, so Dillashaw Sandhagen just came by. Dillashaw is now firmly in the bantamweight discussion for contenders. Corey Sandhagen's still there too, and I think we're going to see more of Corey Sandhagen because
And
he
Dillashaw-
put up a great fight. So I'm excited to see who's there. You guys had said that there is talks about Jan Sterling too. I haven't seen anything, but
I have.
what
I,
have you seen?
I tweeted it.
What,
I
like
think I did. I saw it yet. Sterling's. I think it was October 9th.
October 9th.
Yeah.
So that I think that would be a fight night because September 24th is UFC 267, and I believe October 30th is 268. By the way, UFC
here it-
267. Sorry, go on.
October 30th.
October 30th, 268.
UFC 267.
Ariel
Abu
Helwani.
Dhabi.
It's reliable.
Jan Glover for the 205 belt and Aljo Jan for the 135 title are the title fights. This is out there. It's out there. It's out there.
All right, so
talking.
here's the thing though.
Talking.
Here's the thing though. I've seen that Black Witch Teixeira got moved to 267 because it was originally supposed to be 266.
Yeah.
Seen it got moved to 267.
Mm.
Usman Covington
Yeah,
is going to be scheduled for 268.
I saw that. I think.
So 268
Mm.
has potential
Sick.
to be fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Usman Covington, Black Witch Teixeira, and Jan Sterling too.
That's like.
Woo!
That's like.
Three?
Woo!
I don't know.
When's the last
I
time
don't
it
know if
was
they'll do
three?
that.
The last time it was
Oh.
3 was the Usman Masvidal 2
Okay.
because they had Nunes and they also had
I should have kept reading.
was it Moreno?
Yeah.
No, because that
Wait.
was Adesanya.
Wait.
There was 3 title fights in that one.
Well,
It
this-
might have been 2 women's fights. That might have been Rose and Shevchenko or something like that.
Oh no, that's what it was.
I think that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So like they're saying that this is a non-pay-per-view fight.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yep, they're doing that one for free.
Yeah, this is a
Jan
non.
Sterling.
Yep. ESPN.
Yeah, a non-pay-per-view numbered event in USA. Some combo with ESPN and ESPN Plus.
They're trying to grow the sport.
Yeah, they're
trying to
trying to
combo.
put it on free TV so everybody can see it.
This would mark
That's
the
interesting though because
That's
you
a
would.
crazy card to put on free.
It's interesting the kind of fights that they choose to put there. I'm sorry, you want to say something else?
This would mark the first numbered non-pay-per-view since UFC 138 aired on Spike
Mhm.
via tape
Whoa,
delay
Spike.
Since like
from
UFC 38
Birmingham,
and a half.
England.
Spike.
267 won't be tape delayed, of course. 268 would be a week or two later, hopefully from Madison Square Garden.
Yep. Because they
that
want
would be a pay-per-view.
because they want Usman Covington and MSG.
Yeah.
So they're trying to bump Covington Usman's numbers through the roof
And if
with that non-pay-per-view right before.
and I mean, right now, Blachowicz Teixeira isn't scheduled, but the fight is scheduled, but they don't have a date for it, and they're saying that they want to do 267. If they bump it to 268, that could be fucking crazy. Listen, the next 4 pay-per-views are ridiculous no matter what happens. I want to talk about them, but we haven't even talked about the one that's coming up in 2 weeks, which is ridiculous.
Let's talk about it, dude.
So let's jump into that one first, because we left on a cliffhanger last time.
We've gone
UFC
all over the place already.
265. Coming August 7th, headlined by Derek Lewis versus Cyril Gane in Derek Lewis's hometown
Yeah,
of Houston,
Houston.
Texas.
Houston.
I don't see Lewis losing there.
So-
I don't see him losing there.
On our Twitter, which follow us on Twitter at @complete_MMA. We've been doing a lot of great tweets lately. We've been putting polls up for the major fights, which we did for Cyril Gane versus Derek Lewis.
Those are a great time, by the way. I love the polls.
74% of votes had Derek Lewis
Thank you.
winning.
Someone respects him.
I was part of the 26%.
You have Cyril Gane.
I do.
So we talked
I was
about this
part of the
last week.
26% as well.
We talked about this last week. Dylan has Cyril Gane.
Really?
You have Cyril Gane, Colby. You have Cyril Gane.
I'm not going to bet on it, so don't worry.
Who do you have?
I have Derek Lewis.
I'm not either.
I don't want to toot my own horn, but I've been on a pretty good fucking
You
roll
have.
with main
You
events
have
lately.
been. You have been.
You said this
I'm gonna pick Derek Lewis.
Okay.
I really don't want to pick either one because I think that Cyril Gane is a great athlete. I rewatched his fight with Volkov, and he really is just a spectacular athlete. He doesn't have a lot of weaknesses. He fought a guy who has a bigger reach than the guy he's going to be facing in Derek Lewis.
Yeah.
But he has 9 professional fights. He has a lot of other professional fights, and he's done jiu-jitsu competitions and he's done kickboxing competitions. He has a lot of fights, but he has 9 professional MMA fights. And no one that he's fought has punching power of Derek Lewis.
Yeah.
You can look at his record.
Derek was just insane, man.
He's got an Ianu power. I really do think so.
He's up there. He really is. He might have like top 3 power in the UFC right now. 100%.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'd be willing to say it.
I'd say second most power.
Because who have we seen knock dudes out like that other than him and Ngannou?
Yeah, it's just
And there's got to be one more. Like,
Interesting you say that because I want to actually.
Snapchat's downloading.
I forgot to.
It's,
I forgot to mention this when we were talking about the fight night that just
Struggle.
happened. But shout out Adrian Yanez.
shout out
Bro,
to Adrian Yanez.
thank you. I
So-
was just going to shout him out. He just tweeted.
First
Really?
fighter.
Not at us.
First fighter.
He did like one of our tweets.
First fighter in his first 3 UFC bouts under 145 pounds.
Yeah.
To finish all 3 of his bouts by knockout.
Dude, that last one was fucking nuts.
And he was getting rocked a lot too. Like
First small guy with that power.
Yeah, he does have power in his hands, man. There's
Listen.
no doubt about it. His feet, too. He's got great
Listen,
head
you got
kicks.
like Cody Garbrandt. He has some fucking power. Piotr Jan has a shit ton of power. Pound for pound, Piotr Jan's up there.
that
for power.
division,
Might be.
is it's riling
135
up.
is rough.
It's stacking up.
135
dude.
is rough to be in.
It's getting so stacked. It's getting like heavyweight. I mean lightweight.
why do you think that is? Isn't that weird that like those guys and it's just getting insane right now?
Well, I
I
think
think all of them got a chip on their shoulder.
I think that the most common weight class that anybody would be in, general public, like literally everybody, is somewhere between that 135 to 170 pounds.
Really?
That's just
Oh,
the
well, yeah,
average
yeah,
weight.
yeah.
And then when you incorporate the fact that these guys are trained professionals that have nutritionists and diet plans and all
that's
that,
fair.
it's going to be a little bit lower. So 135 to 155. Featherweight is obviously in the middle of that gap. And featherweight right now is good, but it doesn't have the pedigree of those other two. Lightweight has just always been stacked because 155 is like the perfect weight, I think.
Yeah.
Like if you were to go into the UFC, you would probably be 145 or 155.
I'd probably cut weight to 145.
Right. You'd probably be like right there. If you were to cut, you would probably be 155. You're what, like 160, 170?
I would try
on
to
a
get
bad
to
day?
145.
Right, right.
That-
That's just like
Like-
the average one. We wouldn't because we're
I'd
just bigger
like
guys.
to be equal to
I would.
170.
I weigh 220 pounds right now.
Whoa.
I would
You'd have to fight Ngannou.
listen. But here's the thing. No.
Imagine,
Because I
imagine that.
Because I think I could cut to 205.
Oh yeah, easily.
It's still.
But I would want to put on more muscle, so
Yeah.
I think I would go. I think I would do
Really?
heavyweight.
I don't know. If you cut a lot,
You
I
want to
think
fight
you'd
Ngannou, bro?
I think you'd be good.
Yeah, I would knock him down.
You would knock him out, huh? How?
Exhibition. Let's do it.
Overhand
No,
or
I would.
uppercut?
I would spinning axe kick Ngannou into oblivion.
Break the collarbone.
Anyway, back to reality.
Oh my god. You have a better chance of submitting him.
Pound for
I
pound
don't
power.
I don't know.
Pound for pound power. But I like bantamweight division. We were talking about middleweight 2 months ago, the same way we're talking about bantamweight right now. It's like it just started to pop, and then middleweight's kind of simmered down over the last 2 months.
Yeah.
Obviously, when Adesanya fights, it becomes bigger, and then you have like those lower level guys, and obviously, Derek Till versus Derek Brunson did get canceled,
Did?
but it's being targeted for UFC 266, which is September 24th.
Uh,
But it was supposed to be in 2 weeks, and now it's not.
Yeah.
I got Derek.
But
how
the
does
middle,
Darren Till keep getting canceled?
but
He's
the
scared.
middleweight division is right on the cusp of being one of the top divisions. Welterweight, welterweight, and lightweight, I would say right now are the top two
Yeah.
divisions. They have been for like a year.
Yeah.
And then you got bantamweight is now getting up there. Middleweight's had its moments. Flyweight had a spurt or two with
Yeah.
Moreno and Figueiredo. Light heavyweight, I think, has been the least attractive division in the
Yeah.
UFC
I agree.
since John Jones left. And honestly, a little bit before that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once he beat Cormier the second time. Damn.
Well,
5
you
years.
still had
4 years ago today.
when Thiago
Really?
Santos was
I
coming
remember
up.
seeing that fight.
When Thiago Santos was coming up, he was a big name. Johnny Walker was a huge name in that division until he lost to Corey Anderson. Corey Anderson was a huge name in it. And Anthony Smith, before he got dominated by John Jones, was a big name. So it was a little bit after Jones DC2. I think that was in like 2016. So we're talking about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I just think it's so interesting that the UFC divisions fluctuate as far as, I don't know the right word exactly, but attractiveness seems to be what I'm kind of looking at, like from a fan's perspective.
Yeah.
And you got lightweight and welterweight, which has been really consistent for years and years and years. Bantamweight's starting to get there.
Thanks to Connor.
Featherweight had its moments.
Thanks to Connor.
Middleweight,
For real.
I would say, is right on the next. Middleweight and heavyweight, I would say, are on the second tier. Like they need like one or two guys, and they will be fucking popping off. But they have great champions that people want to see, so that helps them out.
Yeah.
Light heavyweight to the fucking bottom.
Yeah, it has been for
Yeah.
a while.
Light heavyweight.
Featherweight is right with flyweight. I would say in the third tier. Like featherweight has some people, but Volkanovski's not a marketable champ. He's a great champ, but he's not a marketable champ.
Yeah.
Brian
Max
Ortega.
Holloway would be.
Fuck yeah.
Bless
He
Whoa,
fucked him.
bro.
Remember that fight?
Brian
He needs to
Ortega
become
is a skilled fighter, but no one knows shit about him really. And he took 2 years off anyway before his previous fight.
Yeah.
I don't know how I even got onto this tangent, but I just thought,
No,
it was
yeah,
interesting
no, we
to
asked-
see the tiers of the ranks.
No, we asked. I asked you, what's the least attractive division? And
I
you
would-
just said light heavyweight.
It's either for me. Light heavyweight is up there, but the difference between light heavyweight and heavyweight is that you have the appeal that any fight could have a knockout because they're big guys and they just have power.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So when you say least attractive, flyweight probably, because I dare you to name me anybody from rank 7 to 15 in the flyweight division.
Yeah, that was a good point to make too.
And you know that all those fights, no matter how great they are, because Moreno Figueiredo was one of the best fights I've ever seen in my life.
That
The
was
first fight.
awesome. That was awesome.
But that doesn't happen all the time, even though all those fights usually go to decision.
Yeah.
Usually it's boring ground control.
Can we
quick
look
fight.
at those rankings here?
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Flyweight?
Figueiredo should go to lightweight.
He should probably go to 135.
I mean,
Figueiredo.
135. Sorry.
Yeah.
Matt Schnell's in there.
Matt Schnell. That guy is actually.
Matt Schnell.
That guy's not bad. His
Do I
last
like him? I don't
performance-
know. I don't remember him.
Oh,
No.
you bet a lot on Matt Schnell and it did not
Oh,
work out.
fuck you, man.
His last performance
David
wasn't
Dobrik's in
hot,
there.
but he's good.
David
David
Dobrik.
Dobrik.
What?
They have a guy with
Wow.
one name in that division at 13. No disrespect to Smuderji.
Tim Elliott, one of the best.
He does have
brands.
one name.
in the game.
Tim Elliott. Rogerio Bontorin just had a really good fight, and his fight before that, he took on short notice. So Bontorin is a big name.
Yeah.
Kai Kara France has been big. Joseph Benavidez is a perennial all-star, perennial Hall of Famer, really, in the UFC.
Tim
Most
Elliott.
title fights with never winning a title. Joseph Benavidez.
It sucks.
I don't know who Alexander Pantoja is, ranked third. Askar Askarov will, I think, get the next title shot, maybe over Davison Figueiredo, because he's 13-0.
Yeah.
And Brandon Moreno is obviously, like all the endorsements he has with Lego. Who
trilogy.
can hate that man? Who
Yeah.
can hate that man?
The trilogy.
It's a good dude right there.
Or
The
was
Figueroa
that?
Moreno trilogy.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see it. Do you think we'll see it, or do you think
I
Figueiredo
want to
moves up?
see Davison Figueiredo move up to featherweight or bantamweight.
Yeah.
If he went up to
Yeah.
bantamweight,
Bro. Oh my god.
that division,
That division would be.
you could literally do an 8-person tournament with that division. And you
Wow.
can't really do that with a lot of divisions. You could do it with lightweight. Maybe if Connor participates, you could do it. You could do it with welterweight. But bantamweight, you could easily do that because not for nothing, but these guys are all really credible credible fighters. They're not getting paid the big money that the big guys are. So like for them to get in a tournament and get that exposure would probably be good for them anyway.
Yeah.
There's.
But like that division is insane.
It really is.
So insane.
Like
Frankie Edgar's at
Dude, like Sean O'Malley ain't even on the list.
Yeah.
Dude.
he got bumped to 15. Well,
No,
He's not. He's off.
he was 15. He just got bumped off.
Yeah.
Dillashaw making
Cody
it.
Stamen.
Cody Stammen is actually a killer who just hasn't fought in a year. Cody Stammen, he could totally go up in that division.
Inactivity sucks.
I think that Cheeto Vera shouldn't be on that list.
No.
I beat O'Malley though. That's the thing.
He beat a guy
Just
that's not on the list.
Beat a guy.
Mo
Yeah.
and Vera.
He beat a guy that's not on his list, and that guy happened to get like a fucking fucked up leg in the first round, in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah.
If Poirier's win wasn't totally just,
That's what
is
it's
Cheeto
just
Vera's.
That's just what
He's just trying to hype him up, dude.
Right.
He's not.
He's
bet
trying to
it-
hype him up for that rematch
Bet against him.
because Cheeto Vera, Sean O'Malley will fight again.
Oh yeah.
100%.
120%. That
That
has to
that's his
happen.
next fight.
I
That's
think
gonna
it
be a
should be.
pay-per-view.
I think it should be. I think that if you ask Sean O'Malley, he'd probably be like, Cheeto Vera has to get another win. And I can't even blame him for saying that
Yeah.
because Vera has been kind of irrelevant the last. He got a recent
he?
win, but you don't know who it's against, do you?
Dude, Sean
I can't
O'Malley's a
think of it.
sell, man. He's a
He is
sell.
a sell.
You know?
But
He's a well-known name.
until he gets a big win, which at this point his biggest win is Eddie Wineland.
Yeah.
Now, I was too young to remember the rise of Connor. Was Connor kind of like how O'Malley is now, where even when he was not in the top 10, it was like big fights that he was fighting in and he was getting a lot of recognition?
Yes and no, because Connor came into the UFC not losing for like 5 years in Ireland.
Okay.
And then he came to the UFC and he had like 4 fights before he got a title fight. He had a quick rise to the
Okay.
top.
Gotcha.
Whereas O'Malley's already had 4 or 5 fights and none of them are top 15.
All right.
Except Cheeto Vera was.
But all of Connor's fights were performances. They were great wins.
Right. He would have knockouts and he would talk shit the whole time.
And he
That-
would call the knockout
Yeah.
too.
no matter Colby
Glory
Covington
days.
is the closest person I've ever seen to being a shit talker of the level of Conor McGregor. And he's not even on that level.
He's a
Yeah.
good shit talker.
He is a good
He's a
shit
different
talker.
breed though. Like,
There's
he's a
already
different
rumors that Kamaru Usman's on PEDs. That's how quick it took.
No,
That's how quick it took for Colby to get
type.
a
Colby
EPO.
Co- see-
EPO.
You saw that
The
too?
CEO of
Show
EPO.
hilarious.
Yeah.
CEO of EPO, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Do you think it's true?
Nah.
I don't think it's
I
true. I don't
pray
think
to
it's true.
God it's not because everything
That's
I
suck.
will have believed in over the last year and a half has been a lie.
That'd suck.
That would suck.
Yeah.
Kamaru Usman is the pound for pound greatest mixed martial artist on the planet right now.
Yeah.
Right now.
I was
yeah.
going to bring up
At
that
this
kinda-
very moment. At the moment.
that kind of makes,
Don't joke.
in a weird way, the welterweight division a
He's
little
not
bit
fighting,
worse.
that's the
It's
thing.
like, who's touching him right
Dude,
now?
Kamaru Usman.
Kobe, and that's all I
That's
can
one
see.
way to look at it.
Like,
all I can see.
the
I'm
separation
doing a
between
poll.
champion and everybody
Right.
else in that
Poll right
division.
now.
Same thing with middleweight.
I totally hear you. I think middleweight's a little different because I think Robert Whittaker is on Adesanya's level. That's a conversation for another day.
Yeah.
So when you think of the
I could
welterweight
talk for hours
division,
about
because
that.
you make a very interesting point. If it's competitive,
Breaking news.
it makes the division better.
Breaking news.
What's breaking news?
Cleveland manager Terry Francona is stepping down
I don't.
for the remainder of the season.
Salute, Tito. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Sorry.
so if you look at the
Terry Franco.
if you look at the welterweight division
2004.
on a scale of 100, right? 100 is the highest you can be. Kamaru
Yeah.
Usman's a 97, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
And if you want to market it, if you want to look at it like that, then the next highest guy, Colby or Gilbert Burns, or I think Colby is number one right now. Colby would be like an 89, 90 because he isn't on that level. But I don't think that does Usman just. I think you should look at that division on a scale of like 150 because Usman's really just that fucking good. So
Yeah.
Usman could be 140 and Colby could
So
be
you think
128.
the
which
competition
makes-
is just so much better in that division that it's.
I think that is the most competitive division
Yeah.
with the best champ.
Let's look at the list.
Yep.
Because he has taken some names.
Well, I look at that and I say, Neil Magny.
Yeah.
I don't think he's.
Bilal Muhammad, I don't think is that good.
I like Bilal Muhammad, but I would
Damian
agree.
Maya's old. Geoff Neal, I haven't heard him fight in a while.
Sean Brady's my favorite undercard fighter, by the way.
Stephen Thompson is not one-dimensional, but
I
You know
think
what I
it's
mean.
just and Edwards. He didn't get exposed in his last fight, but
Edwards, after seeing that fight and seeing what Usman did so easily to fucking Masvidal, who I don't even think really is where I don't think like when
I think Masvidal
Covington-
should be higher. I think
Yeah, I
Masvidal
agree.
should be 5.
when Covington called Masvidal a journeyman, I don't think that
He-
was too terrible.
No. He had a point to it. 100%. I'll agree with that. But Colby Covington is one of the best in the world.
yeah, I agree.
As far as his wrestling and his cardio, he's one of the best in the world. And he's tough as fucking nails.
Before we
yeah.
go any further, I just want to say, Chael Sonnen picked Colby Covington.
Okay.
Just saying.
So it's probably Usman.
Yeah.
Gilbert Burns
That's my point.
dominated Stephen Thompson and rocked Kamaru Usman. So he's one of the best challengers in the world. Leon Edwards, we haven't seen, but we did see him put on a fucking masterclass.
Yeah,
And he
You
hasn't
liked the
lost.
tweet.
he picked
And he
apart.
hasn't lost in
Yeah,
I
7
liked
years.
the tweet today. We need to
Stephen
see-
Thompson is one of the best strikers in the world.
We-
Michael
Start doing that,
Chiesa
by
has
the
been
way.
in the UFC for
Tweeting at
10 plus
fighters.
years and is
I
on
do.
a 5
He's all right.
He's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, he's all
nothing
right.
special. Sente Luque is one of the best up and coming welterweights
Very
we've
good.
seen in a while.
I think he beats Chiesa.
Bilal Muhammad
Yeah.
has his ups and downs, but we saw that
That guy.
who did Bilal Muhammad just take? Damian Maya.
Maya.
And Damian Maya is older. I'll give you that
40.
he's way out of his prime.
Yeah,
He's
but he's
43.
one of the.
I think he's 43.
He's such a good
Yeesh.
wrestler.
But we just saw Bilal Muhammad stuff 15 takedowns
Yeah.
for Damian Maya. That is impressive, no matter how you cut it.
Yeah,
Prepared very
it's
well for that
exhausting.
fight.
And he kept trying.
And he was good. He had a single leg and he was hopping around on one leg like the whole time.
So let's just say this: take the champions out of context.
Yeah.
We're just talking contenders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welterweight is at least a top 3 division just for contenders.
Oh,
At least lightweight's probably the best. Bantamweight's up there.
Yeah.
I think
Middleweight has a claim, but I would say welterweight is a little bit better than middleweight.
I think
Middleweight.
bantamweight's the best right now.
Yeah, I think
Bantamweight
bantamweight
totally
is-
could be. But then you add the champs and you add Usman.
Yeah, but Usman's beat everybody on that. He's
Dude,
beaten Gilbert
the-
Burns. He's beaten a
Leon
Yeah,
Edwards
I was just about to
He
say
beat
the
Stephen
welterweight,
Thompson, right?
beat Masvidal.
the welterweight
I don't
division and the
I
lightweight
think it was
division are
before he got his
opposite.
title that he beat him.
What's up?
The welterweight and lightweight division are opposites. As like Charles Oliveira isn't a dominant champion, and there's so many fighters in that division that can compete for that.
Right. Well,
welterweight's
Oliveira's
the
not a
opposite.
dominant champion yet.
Yeah, he needs his time.
No, that's what I'm saying. He's
Right.
not. Sorry, I don't know if that came out wrong, but that's what I'm saying.
I'm looking at this now. I got to be honest with you. Middleweight contenders are pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
That list for middleweight is
Paul Coffey
Damn
still number 2.
good.
Oh wow, yeah.
I
Kevin Gastelum
don't
at
have a
9.
problem with that. I think Paulo Costa should be. He's 13-1. Not only that, but he beat Romero. I think he beat Brunson and Vittori. I don't think he beat Vittori. I think it was someone else. But he's 13-1, only losing to Adesanya.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't know if you guys saw, but Chris Weidman's leg healed improperly.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No good.
Chris Weidman is still in the rankings, but I do believe that we will never see Chris
Yeah, I would
Weidman
have
fight
to
in the
imagine.
octagon.
So who you guys got? Vicente Luque or Michael Chiesa?
I got Vicente Luque
Okay.
heavy.
Mhm.
Heavy on the feet, on the ground, wrestling, taking him down. I got Vicente Luque for that fight.
Yeah, I got Vicente Luque.
As an analyst.
Let's see. Because I got to be honest with you, I know more about Luque than Chiesa, which I feel is
Guess is a great grappler.
awful.
Like that's his best aspect is his grappling.
So Vicente Luque,
No, he lost to Steven Thompson.
wow.
Stephen Thompson.
He's
Wow, he's
only
got a
lost
good-
to Leon Edwards and Stephen Thompson.
He's got
He's got a
good
good
Stephen
record,
Thompson
dude.
a few years.
So that's a great
year,
losing
2
record.
years ago.
But then look at who he's beaten.
Beat
Yeah.
Mike
He doesn't
Perry.
have the best victories. He has a couple.
Beat Mike
He
Perry.
beat Nico Price twice. That's all right. He beat Mike Perry. That's
Beat
okay.
Tyrone
Well,
Woodley.
He
Muhammad.
beat Bilal Muhammad years ago, 5 years ago.
First round.
And he beat Randy Brown. Scroll the top.
Sorry.
He beat Randy Brown and he beat an old Tyron Woodley. Those are good wins.
The Tyron Woodley one's kind of interesting.
Those are all like asterisks.
But then
like
look
you
at
said.
Michael Chiesa. Michael Chiesa's beaten Neil Magny, Rafael dos Anjos, Diego Sanchez, Carlos Condit, Benil DeRouche, Jim Miller.
Did he
What year
move up
was that
from
Anthony
155? Because
Yes, he did.
Okay,
Yes.
that makes sense.
6 takedowns versus Rafael dos Santos. Wow.
I believe-
5 against Diego
believe
Sanchez. 4 for against Carlos Condit.
Not only did he beat Benil DeRouche, by the way, but he rear naked choked Benil DeRouche.
Yeah, it's
Which
great.
is
He's a great
impressive.
grappler.
Wow.
That's the best part about.
So he
Chiesa.
lost to Kevin Lee and he lost to Pettis, both by subs, and those were his last 2 fights in lightweight. And so he's now at welterweight, not cutting as much weight, which we see Masvidal made the fucking difference in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And he's on a 4-fight win streak and he's beaten 3 top 15 competitors in that 4-fight win streak. And now he's going against Vicente Luque, whose best win, arguably, is against a 38-year-old Tyron Woodley.
I'd like to see that fight. I'm calling Vicente Luque.
I've been
don't know
saying
now.
Vicente
I don't know.
Luque.
I don't
I've been
know.
saying Vicente Luque because Chiesa's the better grappler. Luque is the
Yes.
stronger and probably a little bit better striker. Technical-wise, I don't think it's that much of a gap, but powerful-wise, Luque has.
Yeah, he has that power.
I'm going to go with the hot hand over here. This guy's just picking fights
That's
left and
fair.
right.
Reach is identical.
Very.
Chiesa's a little bit taller. Chiesa's also 4 years older.
Yeah. 4 years older. He's in the prime, maybe just coming out of it.
I am going to withdraw my pick of Luque, and I'm not going to pick.
I'm gonna
Because now that I'm looking at this is a fucking really tight fight. This is a good fight.
I'm gonna keep my bet.
Song Yudong's fighting.
This
I'm
whole
gonna send
card
Luque.
is really good.
Song
Go with
Yudong
Ian.
is Casey.
Go with the high end.
By the way, I'm just remembering this now. UFC 267, which we'll get to probably in a second, we forgot to mention is the return Khamzat Chimaev.
I thought you were gonna say
Oh,
Brock Lesnar.
oh.
I thought you were gonna say Brock Lesnar. I
You
was just for
never
some
bet-
reason I was
you never
giddy,
bet
like a little
against
kid.
You never bet against Khamzat.
Who's he fighting?
You never.
Li
Bet against him.
Jingliang.
I don't
He's
know
gonna
that
give him a
guy,
real-
so I'm gonna guess.
Chinese fighters have not had a great
No.
run in the UFC lately. They have
No.
Remember
not
that one
had a
card
good
where
run.
there was like 7 of them and like
Yeah.
1-1?
That was
Yeah.
the one where Wiley Shane got knocked the
Yep.
fuck out.
Yeah.
And then there was like 4 Chinese fighters in the first 4 early prelims, and they all
They
lost.
all lost. That was tough.
That's tough.
Tough for China. But they're second place in gold medals right now.
Right? Yeah.
They're
Killing
actually
it.
first,
Ups and
The
downs.
first? Damn.
Ups and downs.
unless it's changed.
Speaking of that, do you think MMA should be in the Olympics?
Hell yeah. That would be awesome, dude. Because like think about the worldwide like attention that MMA gets. Like that'd be insane.
That would boost the sport drastically.
It might
I
not
think
be
it should.
super
My question
marketable for
is-
the Olympic side.
Why is 10mm air gun
Exactly.
on there, but not like a jiu-jitsu or MMA or?
See, that's what I think because there's already Olympic jiu-jitsu and Olympic wrestling.
Yeah.
There's Olympic judo.
Is there no jiu-jitsu?
No.
It's just judo. I believe that. Well, that almost even makes my point more. I don't think MMA will be in the Olympics. I would love to see it. I think it
it's
should
too
be, but I don't think it will because it's too brutal. Because the Olympics is something that everybody watches.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Kids
Yeah.
and stuff.
I love the Olympics.
But why not-
A lot of
why
people
not
say
that
it's
would grow the sport so much. You gotta
It
get
would.
kids involved.
No,
You
it
gotta
would,
get-
but at the same time, Olympic committees, not for nothing, and no disrespect to them, don't give a fuck about building any businesses
Yeah.
besides the sports that they have every 4 years.
Yeah.
And I don't really know that Dana White would be
Without
the
a-
biggest supporter of the MMA going to the Olympics.
It would steal his title as the best company
It
for
would
MMA.
do that, but also every 4 years, you would see a lot of UFC fighters taking a whole year off training for the Olympics. That's another big part of it.
Yeah.
That's like
Probably for the
NHL.
best.
NHL stopped letting their players go to the Olympics
Right.
because they lose a whole month of play.
Exactly. And not in the NHL's, it's double because their playoffs are right before the Olympics. And you got star players not being in the playoffs.
Well, they're right. Yeah. Olympics right before the playoffs. Yeah.
In Olympic boxing, they make them wear headgear, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that wouldn't work with MMA.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, exactly. And
What about,
boxing has been one of the biggest sports ever, and that's why it's in the Olympics. MMA has been huge for like 8 years now.
Yeah.
Arguably huge for 8 years.
It's been huge.
You could
for
say
8
like
years.
4 years.
I
Connor
Conor
Khabib was
made
5
it.
years ago.
Wow.
I think
Wow.
Connor boosted the
I'd
sport.
say like
to what
10
it is
years
now.
ago.
Before that, it was.
I give
It
him a
was-
little more
It
credit.
was noticeably big,
15,
but
like
I wouldn't say it
GSP?
was huge. Like, let me ask you this. At this very moment in time, what is the bigger sport to a general 27-year-old male in the United States? MLB or UFC?
That's I was just thinking.
MLB.
Having a
That's still
It's
probably
borderline.
baseball. Still
Borderline.
borderline.
It's still probably
It's
baseball.
still probably baseball, but that gap is getting so much fucking shorter.
I think it
and
passed.
MLB
hockey in
has been
America.
a sport league since 1856.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean?
But
So who's to say in 8 years and 2 Olympics from now that MMA won't be the biggest sport in the world and it will be featured?
It's gonna
in
be
the
big
Olympics?
because it's like soccer. It's like all around the world.
and I think it's different
It's
because there's
multiple
so many
countries.
people and it's all like individuals.
yeah.
There's
Yeah.
30 MLB teams. There's hundreds of UFC fighters.
There's
It's hard to
hundreds of
keep track.
countries. It's like
Yeah,
what,
there's
300
600
countries.
600 fighters on contract right now.
We're going to
That's-
take a quick commercial break. Sorry for interrupting you guys. We're going to pick
That's
this right back up. I just want to run a quick commercial. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Make sure you check out nakedsports.com, which is our proud parent company for MMA Complete. You're watching MMA Complete. We will be live streaming every pay-per-view. This pay-per-view,
Check out the
we
Twitter.
don't know yet. I have to work till like 10:30. So if you guys want to stream at our normal time, that's cool with me. But we will definitely be live for the main card. So come check that out on August 7th. That's Derek
I am
Lewis, Cyril Gain,
down.
Amanda Nunes, Juliana Pena. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes. So that's going to be a great card. We do live streams every pay-per-view, 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. So it's a great time. Come check it out. Also, go check out or follow us on Twitter at @complete_MMA. Go subscribe to our YouTube page, MMA Complete Podcast. That's the easiest way to get our content. We will be right back talking about UFC 265 and everything else UFC. Thank everybody for tuning in. If I could find the little thing.
Gang. A roster with fighters.
In All right, boom, we're live.
Boom, we're actually
Boom,
live.
we're back.
Um,
Sorry about that.
So maybe that's something. I don't know if you guys want to do it, we can, but maybe it's something we can think about for another time because I kind of want to talk about the pay-per-views anyway.
we need
Yeah,
to
I
get
was
a more
watching-
structural view.
There's a lot to talk about for upcoming fights.
You'll be here until 10:30.
Let's talk. Let's get 265 out of the way because
No.
it's coming up it's coming up the soonest, and there's a lot of big fights, starting with the interim heavyweight championship of the world. This fight will forever be the second baddest man on the planet.
Okay.
Well,
I like grilled chicken too.
So good.
So let me hear your thoughts. We all made our picks. I finally made our pick. Twitter's made their pick. 74% say Derek Lewis. So I want to hear from Cyril Gain. What do you guys? Why are you guys picking Cyril Gain?
I'm picking Cyril Gain because he's just so much more technically sound than Derek Lewis. And I think the only way Derek Lewis wins this fight is a first or second round knockout. I don't even think a third round knockout is possible for Derek Lewis.
I would say he has to. I think that Derek Lewis can knock him out in any round. I would say it's most likely it happens in the first 3.
Cardio. And I've explained this to you before. I don't know, on here, off. I think Cyril Gane is like a good comparison to, was it Alexander Volkov? Was that the guy that Derek
He used
Lewis
to be.
almost beat?
He did beat.
Then
That was the knockout.
no, he only
That was my balls was hot.
Yeah. He was supposed to lose that fight.
He was losing bad, and then third round knocks him out.
He was supposed to lose that fight.
So that's what I'm
I
saying.
think Cyril Gane's a little, not a little. I think is more athletic than Alexander Volkov, and I
Yeah, he
think
just
he's
beat him.
more powerful. And he just beat him, and I think he can beat Derek Lewis. He ain't gonna get that one punch every time. He ain't gonna do it every time.
I
We've
didn't
seen
realize that Gane beat Tanner Boser.
He's
That
got a
came
good
out my-
Precision.
Fuck Tanner Boser.
Who'd he beat in
But-
That can't be right. 2019 was not. Oh, it was Fight Night 165.
Fight,
Okay.
I was about to say that's
No.
not right.
2015?
Yeah, I just think Cyril Gane can get the job done. I think he can get him to the ground. He has really good kicks. His kick game is really good. I think that can. If he kicks the front leg at Derek Lewis, that's just going to take power out of him,
So Cyril Gane is
especially for 2 rounds.
He's 6-0 in the UFC. Out of his last 4 fights, which were all wins, obviously, 3 of them were by decision.
The longer you go with a power striker, the riskier it is, but it's the best method to handle him
Let
if
me
you can take him down.
let me ask you
I
guys.
see
this.
Cyril Gane just striking with him. He's a TIE fighter.
Let me ask you guys this, and I hate saying this, but I'm just trying to be real. There is competition gaps in the UFC. There just is. These guys are all obviously skilled and they're professionals and they're great athletes, but there's a competition gap, right?
But in heavyweight, it doesn't really matter.
It does though. It does though. Alexander Volkov is a good technical fighter, but he's not blowing the doors off anybody. He's just not.
33-9. Holy shit, that's all to fight.
Jairzinho Rosenstrike has a great record, 12-2. He's top 5 in the heavyweight division. But if he doesn't knock you out, you're beating him. Like we've seen, like
That's what happened there.
exactly.
He gasses really bad, just like Walt Harris.
He knocked out a 35-plus Junior Dos Santos.
Yeah.
He took Tanner Boser to a decision. Couldn't finish Tanner Boser. No disrespect to Tanner Boser, but we've seen his 2-year stint in the UFC that amounted to him having 1 win that I can't remember who he beat. Ilir Latifi or something.
The 2 submissions is what intrigues me because I think if he gets him to the ground, he's submitting him.
But he has 2 submissions against 2 guys I've never heard of.
Dantel Mayes I've heard of, but I've never heard of Rafael.
Has anyone ever taken
But
Derek
have you
Lewis to the
seen-
ground and done anything with him?
Have you
Alessio
seen-
Oleinik took him to the ground and held him for a full round. And Alessio Oleinik is a great wrestler, and he couldn't submit. Derek
Yeah,
Lewis.
I was going to
So
say
that's one thing.
He's got
Yeah, but he
good
kept trying to go for the
submission.
Kimura and he couldn't get it. And
Yeah, why couldn't he get?
he couldn't just try something else. Like,
I
he couldn't-
Strong, slippery dude.
Yeah.
I think
might
that
be
Cyril
it.
Gane has potential to submit him, but I think Cyril Gane, what he should do is take him to the ground,
How
like
did
we've seen the last
How
couple.
did he submit him? Sorry to cut you
Like
off.
we've seen in the last couple fights. I don't know. This doesn't sound like.
Flying triangle.
Like we've seen the last couple weeks that has worked out well. I'm barely even on camera. You should take him to the ground, keep control time, keep getting points, land ground and pound, not fuck around with submissions. I don't want to see him fuck around. I'm not rooting for Gane.
Maybe 1 or
Obviously, I
2.
said that Lewis should, but I think that your best bet is to take him to the ground because Lewis is obviously better standing than he is on the ground. I think he should ground and pound him because that'll obviously weaken him. And then I think that if he ground and pounds him and just fights for position, Derek Lewis is going to lose his cardio so much quicker than if Cyril Gane attempts a guillotine for 2 minutes, doesn't get it, and now Cyril Gane is more
Yes.
tired.
Yeah.
So if Cyril Gane can take him to the ground every round, just control him and like work him ground and pound, that is the only scenario that I'm taking Cyril Gane.
Big thing to mention. Derek Lewis has been off the Popeyes for a while now.
Think he's in shape.
I think he's in shape.
What is Derek Lewis's recent record looking like? He hasn't lost
Good.
since fucking. Has he not
DC.
lost since DC?
And I think Cyril Gane is just gonna kick him. He's gonna keep his distance. If he
Wow.
sneaks in, he can try and take him down.
Junior. Wow, he lost back to back, and then who did he beat?
He lost to Junior Dos Santos.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's
TP.
interesting.
But he got TKO'd by Junior Dos Santos.
Whoa.
Beat Francis Ngannou.
It's interesting.
Dude, you want to talk about a good
Mark
fucking
Hunt.
loss record?
Mark
Oh my
Hunt.
God. Mark Hunt, Daniel Cormier, Junior Dos Santos.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Since
Sean
2015. And Matt Mitrione.
Dude,
who
he
Matt
beat-
Mitrione used to be a fucking killer.
He beat Roy Nelson back in the day.
Oh yeah, he has good
2016. That's good.
victories.
All right, so he beat Gabriel Gonzaga,
That's
who
another
used to
good
be
one.
top 15.
He
He
beat a
beat
guy that's on the list right now.
Shamil Abdurakhmanov.
Yeah.
Abukadukudu.
I almost got that right. I think it's Abdurakhimov.
You know
Wow,
that
fourth
Travis
round.
Brown, big win. Marcin Tabara, number 8 right now. Ngannou, that's a fluke win. I'm barely counting it, but it's a huge win.
Unanimous decision.
Volkov,
Like 12
good
punches the whole fight.
Blagoy Ivanov, that he's like top 10 right now. Ilir Latifi, Olenek, it was a good comeback win. Curtis Blades is by far his biggest.
It's crazy because we talk about him in cardio, and most of the fights that he's won is in the third round.
That's because he just has the power. The power stays with him, man. The power does not go away. Fourth round, you're still getting your lights out.
It's preservatives in the Popeye's chicken.
Something switches in his,
Dude.
his like.
I don't know what it is, man.
1, 2,
He's just a madman.
I wonder
3,
if
4, 5.
Cyril Gain will be
6.
hesitant to take down Derek Lewis because of Curtis Blades.
Possibly.
It's
He
7.
definitely won't shoot in on a double leg. I see him going clinch and then take down.
Yeah.
Right.
7 wins in the third round.
Wow.
That's a lot of wins in the third round.
He's 36. His takedown defense is over 50%,
Derek
which for a
Lewis.
15-year career is really good.
World's most lethal blue belt.
So the only time he was ever submitted was Derek Lewis.
Wait, what? Was Daniel Cormier, you mean?
Oh yeah, Derek Cormier. My bad.
Yep. That's the only time a fight of his has ever been finished by submission. But it's fucking Daniel Cormier.
Yeah.
Probably
That's
the
what-
greatest
that's what I'm saying.
wrestler in the
Yeah,
heavyweight
that's
division.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
I'm not going to get into that. right now.
Wrestler, yeah. Strict wrestler, I'd say so.
Kane?
Oh,
Cormier's probably better than Kane, but that's tough.
yeah.
That's
Well,
tough.
was Kane an Olympian?
Couture
Yeah.
for his day.
Yeah.
What's
Cormier-
that guy?
Love
Arden
anyway.
Labo?
Artem Lobov. It was Lobov a heavyweight?
I think so.
Was he? No shit. I thought he was a welterweight for some reason. Anyway, UFC 266. We have Amanda Nunes versus Juliana
That's not
Pena.
happening.
Go ahead.
That fight got canceled.
Nunes?
Yeah.
Don't do it here.
Really? Wait, are you serious?
She has COVID.
Nunes has COVID?
Nunez
Really?
has COVID.
Yo.
Yeah.
That sucks. Fucking.
Am I breaking this to you guys?
No, she
Possibly.
doesn't.
Are you sure, bro?
I'm pretty sure.
Look it
Type
up.
in COVID.
Nunes COVID.
Sorry to everybody listening, hearing me type all this shit. The positive for COVID.
Oh, 6 hours ago?
Canceled.
Breaking
Oh,
news.
yeah, you're breaking this shit. It happened today.
Wow.
Sign me.
Why didn't you
ESPN.
tweet it?
Why didn't you tweet it?
I was gonna text you guys, and I was like, "Oh, they definitely heard about this."
Nah,
We're
totally.
working. We're
Absolutely
working.
Yeah, my bad.
All right,
But
so
yeah, that's not happening.
co-main event is
Wow.
Jose Aldo versus Pedro Munoz.
I still think Nunez wins.
What the?
With
With COVID. Or under the mask. Bro, she fucking wins.
Yeah, I do too. I actually do too. Amanda
Even if she
Nunes
has
with
symptoms.
COVID.
That's the handicap of what the division needs.
Yeah, it is.
Ran a poll too. That ended. Just ended.
Well, I got to be honest with you. That kind of drags this pay-per-view down a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't think it drags it too bad.
There's like five good fights in the whole thing,
Well,
in my opinion.
okay.
And I'm not, there's going to be good actual fights, but as far as a marketing perspective,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
there's 5 fights that you can really say shit about.
You see that?
Bobby Green, Rafael Fiziev is actually going to be a good fight. Tisha Torres, Angela Hill will be all right. Kiesa Luque is a banger. Aldo Munoz banger. Lewis Gain banger.
I am so looking.
Song
forward
Yadong,
to
Casey
Song
Kenny will be
Yadong's
good.
long.
I think that's going to be a boring fight, though. I think that's going to be a wrestling fight.
Yeah, it's not-
Casey Kenny likes to throw punches. I'm not sure how Song Yadong likes to fight.
I'm looking to see because we haven't really looked at measurements too much. So Cyril Gain will have a 2-inch reach advantage. Jose Aldo will have a 5-inch reach advantage on Munoz. Equal reach for Kiesa Luque. 1-inch reach for Kenny.
Oh my god, the kill kid.
Even for that fight. Angela Hill has a 4-inch
Whoa.
reach advantage.
The prelims are all right.
Carolina
Angela-
Cavalcavich versus Jessica Payne is actually an interesting fight. Carolina Cavalcavich used to be a top 3 contender, and then she just had 2 losses that were kind of
Yeah, Angela Hill is looking pretty fucking good.
Yeah, Angela Hill, Tisha Torres is actually an interesting
Who did she
fight.
just beat?
Hill?
And she's
Yeah.
13-9. That's what I don't.
She just beat someone.
Ashley Yoder.
Actually,
Yoder, yep.
That's not what I was thinking of. Oh, I was thinking she lost to Michelle Larson. For some reason, I thought she beat Michelle Larson.
She's 13-9 now.
But yeah, that kind of bums me out because that.
Yeah. That
So
does bum
what
me out.
that means is that Nunez Pena is going to be added to one of the cards coming up. 267 or
Awesome.
268.
That's just awesome.
All right, so which one? All right, so.
I think that's
Wow.
267 then.
Do you do another three? Another three
You
championship?
cannot
Oh my
add.
god!
You cannot
You-
add a fight to this main
Yes,
card.
you can.
You can. No, you can.
you could.
Dude.
Jessica Andrade.
First of all, Andrade Calvillo are top 4 in their division, and that's probably not even going to be main card. That's how fucking
Bro.
good.
Marlon
Holy
Moraes is
shit.
on here.
Curtis Blaze Rosenstruck is on this card.
Yes!
Wow.
Here's the thing: Johnny Walker Santos is supposed to be added to this card. It just hasn't been confirmed yet.
Ugh.
Yeah. Yes.
Damn.
Exactly. Exactly.
What the fuck?
Where's this at?
266.
Is this a
This is Las Vegas,
T-Mobile.
of course.
I
When's
thought
the
it
next
was
one in Boston?
Bro.
Fighting it in
Oh,
Boston?
we're going to it.
Fighting it in Boston?
Uh,
That's as
Passes?
far as Google has it.
Acid?
That's as far. That's as
Then
far
on
as
267.
confirmed bouts are. We know that 267 is supposed to be Blachowicz Teixeira. We know that 268 is supposed to be Usman and Covington, but we don't know any of the other fights in it.
Damn.
What do you guys think of this one?
Cannonier versus Gastelum. I got Gastelum. I think he's had time to actually prepare for this fight. Cannonier's vicious though, but I feel like Robert Whitaker really put him down. Like
I think it's going to be Kelvin Gastelum too.
Yeah.
And I like Cannonier. I think that he's tough. And so he used to be a heavyweight who's now fighting at middleweight.
Yeah, right.
And I think that has gotten him so much better.
Yeah.
You know, Robert Whitaker is the only person that stopped him in middleweight, which makes me think that that's a great loss record for middleweight. But I like exactly what you said. Kelvin Gastelum has had a couple short notice fights where he's done really well, and now he has like a good month and a half, 2 months to prepare. I think that's going to make the difference.
I
We got
believe so.
Kevin Gastelum, and shout out him for retweeting us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Kevin
Oh, yeah.
Gastelum retweeted us?
Oh yeah,
I love that
Yeah,
shit.
we got like 100. Yeah. it
yeah.
a
That
little-
was our most successful tweet.
Yeah.
Good shit.
We got Terrence McKinney. We got Adrian Yanis.
Yeah,
We got some peeps.
yeah.
We got
We do got some
Paige
peeps.
Van
Yeah, I
Zandt.
was supposed to
Yeah.
say.
While we're talking about it, at @complete_MMA, check it out on Twitter. Paige Van Zandt tweeted with us.
Yeah.
Or she liked our tweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, she liked it.
Shout out Paige Van Zandt. Her and Rachel Ostrovich actually had a really good fight in bare
Yeah,
knuckle
she
FC.
lost.
Rachel
Sucked that we
Ostrovich
missed that.
beat her up, which I got to be honest, I thought Paige Van Zandt was going to do that,
Mhm.
but it was actually a really good fight. So props to both of them.
Heavy underdog.
Huge underdog.
Heavy.
Huge.
It was fucking.
It was.
insane.
I'm gonna mute it real quick. Yeah.
I could have called that.
Paige Van Zandt was a minus.
We
Oh,
we
I
ran a
would've
poll
bet
and
that.
it was 100% Paige Van Zandt on Twitter,
yeah.
and I was one of them.
Yeah.
That would have been
I
good
was
money.
probably one of them. too.
But it. Paige Van Zandt has been in the
It's
UFC,
just
and
a
Rachel
name.
Ostrovich hasn't, and that was why I said I was like Paige Van Zandt has had better. She probably has a better camp. I don't know much about this Ostrovich girl.
Yeah.
Not for nothing. I don't
think
mean to
she
be
was
a
in the
dick.
UFC at one point.
I don't mean to be a dick, but like Paige Van Zandt came in looking like a fighter, and Rachel Ostrovich came to the weigh-ins in a bathing suit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, Paige Van Zandt's probably gonna win, but props to Ostrovich. She fucked her up. I don't know why I got into that, but UFC 265 with Colby's breaking news is a little bit worse for wear, which is unfortunate. So let's talk about UFC 266. Let's talk about it. All right,
You wanna
because
start?
this might be the best pay-per-view of the year, and I've said it a
Might.
couple times.
It might also be the most predictable.
You know what? That's very interesting. You say that.
I don't think so.
I think so.
I think that I can make my picks for this pay-per-view right now, and I don't think they will change.
Me too.
Let's go down the line.
Okay.
Volkanovski, Ortega.
Volkanovski.
Ortega.
Volkanovski.
Volkanovski. Shevchenko, Murphy.
Shevchenko.
Shevchenko.
Diaz, Lawler.
Lawler easy.
Nick Diaz.
Lawler.
Nick, you're crazy.
Lawler's old.
I got
Lawler
I got
easy,
Lawler.
dude.
I got Lawler.
I had Lawler.
Blades
Remember
Rosenstrike.
Blades.
This one's
Blades.
tough. I have Blades. Yeah.
Blades.
I got Blades.
Andrade Calvillo.
Andrade.
Andrade. Maurice Wallace Willie.
Wallace Willie. That's what I got.
Wallace Willie.
Yeah, sure. I'll go with the hot hand.
And then this fight I haven't even talked about.
I know, it's crazy.
You know what's really crazy? Abdurakhimov versus Chris Daukaus. They're both top 10 in the heavyweight division.
Yeah.
Wait, heavyweight?
Yes, heavyweight.
Oh.
I believe Abdurakhimov is like 6.
Oh, really?
7. He's 7. Chris Daukaus is 10.
Yeah.
All right, so we have the 7th versus the 10th best heavyweight in the UFC fighting in like the 8th most important fight of the night.
If that's like a good fight, one of them's going into top 5, I think. If that's like a performance of the night type of fight.
I like that point you made. I think that I
A lot
could
could happen
put
in
a
this card.
16 parlay right now.
A lot could happen in this card.
So which fight we disagreed on a couple. Mark said Ortega. Mark also said Nick Diaz.
Nick Diaz. Yeah.
Kobe said Marlon Moraes.
Yeah.
Which one are you least confident in?
Me?
Kobe.
Um,
You said Blades and Rosenstrike
Yeah,
was close for you.
that's probably
Why is
what it
that? Is it
Same
because
reason as Lewis versus Gain.
Okay.
Lewis versus Gain or Lewis versus Blades? Because that looks exactly like Rosenstrike. I really
Well,
think is
yeah.
a clone copy
Yeah,
of
yeah,
Derek
yeah.
Lewis.
It's just less good. I don't know.
Yeah, but at the same time, like I can't remember his last win, but he knocked someone the fuck out in his last fight.
Oh, yeah.
He lost
slumped
to
him against
Augusto
Cage.
Sakai. He absolutely sent Sakai into next year. And Junior Dos Santos. He has power, man. He's
Yeah.
power. The only people that have beaten him is Francis Ngannou and Cyril Gane.
But he's the type of guy, like, look at the kill of JDS. Let's look second round, yeah.
Let's look at the kill.
I know. Well, you know,
it was a fight that Junior Dos Santos was winning. We watched the fight.
Yeah.
We all had Junior Dos Santos, actually, or at least I did. And Junior Dos Santos was winning, and then Rosenstrike just knocked him with one, and it was over. Oh, man, this is going to be such a good card. It's going to suck. It's going to really suck. I don't know if it was this one. It's going to really suck when one or two of these fights get canceled. That's going to really suck.
Hey.
from COVID.
Or
Listen,
it's going to be awesome when
it's
they
2
add
months
Nunez.
away. It's 2 months away.
Yeah.
A lot is going to happen in 2 months. It's crazy that they have Volkanovski Ortega, Shevchenko Murphy, Diaz Lawler, Blades Rosenstrike, Andrade Calvillo, Maurice Wallace Willie, Abdurakhimov Daukaus. That's literally 7 fights that could headline a fight night.
Yeah.
Like we're talking 7 headlining fights 2 months out.
Yeah.
That's almost unheard of. At least it has been in 2021. It makes me think that the UFC has another fight that they're going to put as the main event, and they're just trying to get a stacked card.
They might.
Like what? You think
Ngannou Jones? No.
Sorry.
No.
I'm
not
just
this-
bullshitting.
I
I'm
don't
just
know if
bullshitting.
hey, if anyone's tuning in, I just tweet out polls. Go vote.
what if Izzy comes back? Quick
Adesanya
return.
just fought though.
Quick return.
I look forward
Who's he
to
going to
Didn't
fight?
seeing
Whitaker?
He is
Whitaker?
fighting Whitaker.
Didn't
He
take
is
a lot of damage in his last fight.
Mm-hmm.
Fights Whitaker.
He didn't take too much damage, honestly.
Beat him up. He was laughing at the end of the fight. He was slapping his ass.
I would- Blachowicz versus Teixeira was supposed to headline this card, but it got
Was it?
pushed back.
Really.
Imagine if fucking that was on this.
I
too.
want Teixeira to be able to fight sooner than later.
Can I? You know what's one champion, and it's awful, but you know what champion is kind of been pushed to the side and no one really thinks of them right now?
Oh.
Rose Namajunas.
I love her, bro.
When is she gonna fight Joanna, or when is she going to have the rematch with Zhang?
It's got to be a rematch because she's already beaten Joanna, what, twice?
Maybe on that.
They're 1-1.
Maybe on that.
Really? 1-1? She's beat her
No,
twice.
that might be wrong. Rose might be 2-0 against her.
Yeah.
I want to see Rose fight soon though.
I like her.
Yeah,
Probably.
She didn't really take much damage in the last fight, dude. She's
267.
ready.
Yep, she's 2-0 against Joanna.
Wow.
So, I mean, let Carla Esparza get some. I believe that's her name.
Carlos Barza just
But
beat Yan
both of
Janan.
those
But I think
fights-
Wow, look
Wiley
at that,
Zhang deserves a
145
rematch.
to 105. Holy shit.
Wiley Zhang deserves a rematch though.
Oh yeah, that's the fight to make. 6-month medical suspension though, right?
Is that Joanna's last
Yeah,
fight was
it's
to
gotta be.
Wiley? We haven't seen Joanna since the beginning of COVID.
Wow.
Good point.
I want to see Joanna versus Carlos Barza. That's what I want to see.
That division's kind of stuck right now.
Yeah.
It is, but look at the killers, dude. Joanna, Carlos Barza, Yandra Nan's up next. Marina Rodriguez has some fucking roundhouse kicks that will send your lights out. Claudia Gadella, Michelle Watterson, Tisha Torres, Angela Hill. That's kind of a deep division.
Michelle Watterson's coming for everybody.
After the top 10, it starts to get kind of.
Yeah.
Miranda Maverick's at 14.
Huh.
Should have won.
Wow.
Damn.
Miranda Maverick's also 24 years old.
Yeah.
Good for
Just
her.
saying.
A lot of young
Good for her.
women in the UFC.
All the women's divisions are stacked, though. Even
Yeah.
flyweight. Andrade, Kagan, Murphy, Jennifer Mayo is just a
Joanna
challenge
Calderwood,
contender.
yeah.
Joanna Calderwood. Vivian Araujo just had a comeback victory against, I can't remember who, but she was super impressive.
Who did
Jessica
Jessica
I.
just fight?
I can't remember. There's so many.
Rasa?
There's so many
What's
fights that
Rasa?
have gone
Was she
on.
in the fight where the person's like forehead got cut open
Oh,
horribly?
Oh yeah, she was the third eye.
yeah.
That was,
Was
the
it?
third eye. That was she got
Yeah.
headbutt in the forehead.
Yeah, it was like, oh my god.
Yeah, it would have looked like a third eye.
Oh yeah, that was
That's tough.
that meme's funny with the two dots.
Yeah.
Looks like he's
The
smiling. Yeah.
This has potential to be pay-per-view of the year. It really
Yeah.
does.
What's paper of the year?
Yeah, I don't know.
So far?
Yeah.
That's a great
It's
question.
gonna be McGregor, no?
Yeah, it's gotta be.
Well, are we
Other than
talking? Are we
McGregor.
talking like legitimate, like pay per view
Alright,
of the year
not
by
McGregor,
best
not McGregor.
fights
By
or
sales.
most? We're talking most sales.
No, I'm
Then yeah,
saying
it's
best
McGregor.
fights.
No, I
best
was wondering.
fights, okay.
Other
Yeah.
than McGregor, if we're doing that.
I think.
Is this gonna tell me like
Maybe-
actual pay per views?
No, I was gonna say Jan.
Usman Masvidal 2 was a huge one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what the fucking third fight was. It was Rose Wiley Zhang
Yeah.
and Piotr Jan Aljamain Sterling. That's what it was. Did we already say that? We probably
I think so.
Dude, that
But
was
I'm
a
just-
crazy card.
just realized. All right, so we had 264 Poirier McGregor 3.
That was a long card.
That was a long
That was
card.
a long.
No, that was a quick card. That was
No.
it was done at 12:30.
It was
That's
pretty
when
quick.
Jorge went 5 rounds with Kamara.
No, that was the one we did at Dillon's. Poirier McGregor 3. That was done at 12:30. That
Oh,
was
that one,
that
yeah.
was
That
like
one was
4
pretty quick.
finishes.
Yeah,
for me.
that one. Yeah.
The one where Weidman
I'm talking
broke his
about
leg was
Kamara
the quick
Usman
one.
versus.
Adesanya Vittori 2 was a long card. That was Mike's house.
Oh.
That
Oh,
was a
yeah,
long
that's
card.
so
long one. Mike was-
Oliveira Chandler was the best main event, I think, this year.
I didn't even see that because you guys were in Boston.
It was wild.
Dude,
Usman
oh, yeah,
Masvidal
that was-
2 might have been the best main event.
It was a bully fest.
Dude,
Usman was
Chandler-
so much more.
Chandler
muddy.
almost knocked him out.
Miocic Ngannou.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was a good fight, but we knew what the direction was going after the first round.
Luke really won fight.
Usman Burns was a good one too.
I really think that Oliveira Chandler was my favorite.
Does this say what the undercards
Fight of
were?
the year, Qatar Holloway.
Was a
No,
punch fest. Too.
I don't know
think
if I
so.
can say
I
that.
think so.
Dog,
Fight
Qatar.
of
That was
the
right at the
year.
beginning
That
of
is
the
an-
year. That
I
was
think
like
we should
January.
wait until the end of the year to answer that question.
Well,
but
it's
this is-
like halfway through. We can
We
talk
did-
about it.
Actually, it's halfway
true.
through the year in 2 days.
No,
6 months.
no.
That's gross.
A month ago. It was halfway through the year.
Ah, fuck. Fuck July, June. It's the same shit. Four
Oh,
letters,
July,
summer's,
June.
summer's almost over.
Yeah.
Huh. All right, here we go. Wow. So Tapology has Holloway versus Qatar as the number one. Reyes Prajatska. That was
a
fucking
good
good
fight.
fight.
That was a good fight.
That was a really good
That
fight.
was a crazy fight.
Burgos
Burgos Barboza was all right.
Poirier McGregor 2. Really?
Oliveira Chandler at 8. Usman Burns is up there.
Did I put Oliveira Chandler up there before? Dude,
Drew
I
Dober
think,
versus
yeah.
Brad Riddell. That was a good fight too.
I don't know
Best
why
boxing
that.
in the UFC.
probably
baby.
Holloway. Yeah. Yeah. I can see
Reyes
that.
Prajatska.
He pieced him up.
That was the best
But it wasn't
performance.
competitive.
Yeah, it
right,
was the
best,
best
performance of the
Best
year.
performance.
Yeah.
Nah, dude.
Reyes
Qatar-
versus Prajatska was really
Yeah.
good.
That was the
That
one
might
with
be
the
the-
elbow,
that might
right?
be-
The spinning
Yeah.
elbow.
Yeah,
That
that
might
might
be
be
knockout of the
that's
year.
one of the knockouts of the year.
It was perfect. It was
Oh,
like
that guy
caught him with the elbow, and then he's like,
But it didn't do him justice because Dominic Reyes was getting fucked up. He was giving it back to Prajatska every now and then. He rocked him at one point.
Yeah.
But Reyes took shot after shot after shot after shot.
"Did
And
Reyes
kept
eat?"
coming. He ate like Thanksgiving, bro.
Oh, he should have been knocked out before he
So
even
did
got his
Qatar.
back against a cage.
Qatar ate like a motherfucker too.
Yeah, Qatar.
But you have a
had the worst-
samurai warrior at 205 beating the shit out of you versus Max Holloway at 150.
That's fair.
No disrespect to Max Holloway because he's one of the best strikers, if not like top
He's the
2
best
striker in
boxing
UFC.
UFC.
compared to a 205-pound Jerry Pajaka. His
Right.
powers.
What's
limited.
his name? What's his octagon name? It's something
Who?
crazy.
Yuri
Isn't it The Last Samurai?
It's gotta be.
Dude,
I think it's The Last Samurai.
Oh,
he
that's
is
cool.
fucking.
Scary.
He's scary.
He is scary.
He is gonna be. Oh my god! Look at that hair.
That hair right there. That is so great. He fought Reyes like it too.
Oh
Bro.
my god.
Yo, that
insane.
that is awesome. Look at that shit.
Wow.
What is Prozaski's
Wow.
nickname? I think it's Denisa. Never mind.
Oh, well, that's a lot less cool.
That's something. I'm sure that's something in Czech though.
It's a
And he's
lot.
only 28 years old.
Whoa.
Dude, he's going to
Really?
run
But
that
here,
division.
but hold on.
That
It
might
gets crazier when you look at his record. 28-3.
Who's he lost against?
All right, so I got to go to Tapology because they have his actual record or Sure Dog. Yeah.
Sure dogs.
All right, ready for this? I just want you to look for his latest loss.
Wow.
To King Mo was his last loss
Whoa.
in Ryzen.
2015.
That was in 2015. Keep going. Keep going.
Oh.
You have one in 2013, one in 2012. All right.
Dude, how old was he in 2012? Like 19?
Probably.
Holy
yeah,
shit.
literally.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
He got called to be. I
Yep.
read this story. He got called to be in the UFC way before than he was initially to be in. But he said he didn't want to. He wanted to train better and work his way up,
Damn, that's bad.
and that's what he did. And now he's in the UFC and he's going to be the champion.
He got knocked out by King Mo in 2015. Who King Mo was a motherfucker around 2015.
He was 24 in that fight. 23.
Exactly. And King Mo was
Wow.
32 or
Yeah.
some shit.
If you
In his
scroll, if you
prime.
scroll up, Zach,
In his
I think he
prime.
redeemed it.
He's beaten Mo twice.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I think he's beaten him twice. Maybe
Wow.
only once. But look at these last couple fights. Jake Hune is one of the Independent's big stars.
Yeah. Mm.
King Mo, Fabio Maldonado, CB Dalloway, and then the two fights in UFC, Ozdemir and Reyes.
Yeah, wow.
All right.
Who's he fighting this?
So I don't know if you guys paid attention to this because that's just a lot of green wins. But if you look at method, KO,
Oh, shit.
TKO,
Holy
TKO.
shit.
One decision, KO,
He just
KO.
Draw.
This guy has literally like
Wow.
17 knockouts in his last 90
He's got
fights.
100% power, 100% striking.
Yeah.
25 knockouts.
I don't think there's any wrestling.
In 28 wins.
5 knockouts in 28.
he has two submissions, dude.
He has 27
Really.
finishes in his 28
He
wins.
has two submissions.
This guy is going to win.
Who's he gonna?
Andy's
fight next?
6'4".
Wow.
That's a big light heavyweight.
wow.
Damn, bro. He's scary.
Wow. 90. What's that?
Imagine just being built like that.
193 centimeters.
Nobody
That's
would
like-
fucking look at you.
With that hair up like that.
Nobody would even bat an eye at you.
Bro.
If I saw some guy with this shit coming at me, walking down the street,
With a Czech
220
Walking
pounds,
down the street
6'4",
in my 6'4".
just muscle.
You're
You're just
6'4".
yeah.
yes,
Going down the street, like 6'4".
right,
Yeah.
right.
So yeah, I do maybe knockout. There's a lot of There's been a lot of knockouts this year.
Here's
Like,
my problem. Here's my one problem with Jerry Prochazka. He's a little bit in limbo right now.
He's what?
He's a little bit in limbo
Just gotta wait for that.
Because-
because
wait.
Teixeira Blachowicz is going to fight and probably not till September, October. So we might not see Prochazka again this year, which sucks.
that present that
Have
yeah, but
him-
that fight that's good for him.
It is good for him.
He knows who he's gonna face. He can.
He shouldn't settle for anything but the championship. He really shouldn't. And this would mark the quickest rise. We talked about Connor's rise,
Yeah.
and I don't know who we were talking about when we talked about that. O'Malley, yes. If
His fourth
if
fight.
Prochazka gets his title shot in his next fight, which I would not be mad at all, I think he deserves it. It would be his third UFC fight.
Damn.
The last person to do that gets a title shot in their third UFC fight. Anybody?
Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar.
I was just about to say that. Damn it.
Wow.
I've been
Yeah.
studying.
But and he was a superstar, like superstar before even he was in the UFC.
Yes, but that was 2008.
yeah.
You know what I mean? 2008 when UFC rankings went to 10, not 15. That's how fucking long ago it
Brock
was.
Lesnar
Because
has-
they only had 20 people in a division.
Brock Lesnar has more million pay-per-view buys than John Jones.
That's great. Well,
Bigger fan
It's
base.
Yeah.
That's an understating way of saying that though, because Brock Lesnar has $4 million
John Jones has
pay-per-view
zero.
buys,
Oh.
and Jones has zero.
yeah,
I thought he only had like one.
Wow.
dude.
Here's a way to put this. Ready? Donald Cerrone has more $1 million pay-per-views than John Jones.
Yeah, but he was carried back.
It was Connor.
He was carried back.
Yeah, I know you can't.
You can say that.
We have the same amount of $1 million pay-per-views as John Jones.
That's-
You know what I mean?
That's fair. That's
You know
a
what
good
I
one.
mean?
That's a good one.
That's a line.
Right.
Bars.
Dude, if
And it's so not worth it, dude. He doesn't even have a $900,000 buys pay.
Yeah, what's his highest?
Yeah, it's
Like
like
808?
860 with Cormier, the second one.
wow, and you figured with they almost get
Adesanya
into a fight.
Vittori did like 800,000.
Nah, they did like 600, 700,000.
Did they do 700?
It's like 750.
I was just gonna, I was hoping no one would call me out.
I think it was 700,000. It was like 670. 700.
Let me spout my lies.
But yeah, it is what it is.
I have so many tabs up right now. I gotta.
It's hard to get $1 million, I guess, in the UFC. I mean, Jesus.
Oh,
What's
it
her name?
absolutely.
Conor McGregor.
100%.
I mean, there's a lot of champions, but
I'll tell you what, it's easier now that ESPN has broadcasting rights because it just cuts off all the Reddit sub user
Yeah.
find it for free on Instagram Live kind of thing.
It's hard to find them for free now.
yeah.
Right, and
That's
ESPN is a huge part of that.
I've never tried.
Yeah, we get them every. Why would we need to?
Well, before I was here,
Right,
I
right.
would try.
I would too.
I would tune into commentary channels like ours, which you can find on
Yeah,
every pay-per-view event.
Right, every pay-per-view event at 8:00 on MMA Complete Podcast and at
Boys.
Complete _MMA.
Just the boys chilling.
Do you know what the
Shameless
first ESPN UFC card was?
Give me a second.
Because I remember watching this fight.
The first card. Can you tell me around what year it was?
It was 2019.
Really, it was
2019.
2019.
I don't know.
See, I was gonna say fucking George St. Pierre, so
No.
that was wrong.
It was Dillashaw versus
Cruz?
No,
Cejudo?
Cejudo.
It was Dillashaw Cejudo. That's right. I completely remember that.
What
That's
is
one of
it?
the big reasons that Cejudo is, in my opinion, one of the most overrated UFC fighters of all time.
Yeah, that's why he retired, man.
Like,
You want to?
yeah,
He
fuck this.
retired on top. Not gonna lie.
He is the least deserving champ there's ever been. I'll tell you that much.
He won it.
No, actually, I would give that to Cormier.
Yeah.
I'd give that to Cormier.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because one of them wasn't even like one of them was
He won the light heavyweight
Paper champ.
championship over Volkan Ozdemir. That's
yeah.
or no,
No, he was
Anthony
given to him.
Johnson.
Wasn't
No,
he?
he fought for the belt. He
did?
wasn't
Oh,
given it.
okay.
I think it was Anthony Johnson actually.
You see what Henry Cejudo had to say about TJ on
He
EPO?
said he's lucky I fucking put him out in 38 seconds or something like that.
Yeah,
Henry Cejudo really did do it though.
Cejudo knocked Dillashaw out, man.
yeah, and fucking wailed on him. Fucking wailed on him.
Super
But-
necessary.
Dillashaw, and I know the EPO thing makes a whole asterisk about that fight, but Dillashaw, it was kind of an early stoppage. For a title fight, it was kind of an early stoppage. It was justified,
He was just
and EPO makes it an asterisk.
Yeah.
But Dillashaw, like, as soon as the fight got stopped, he, like, stood up and was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Dude, he
Yeah.
was so hurt going into that fight too. He had MCL tear. He had like problems with his arm. I think.
It seems like a dick for me to say this, and I might revise it later, but we've been hearing that a lot lately. Like, we're going into fights. Connor said the same thing, that we're going into fights with injuries. And I don't have any pity for that. I can understand that you're in a bad position and you want to go through with the fight, not only for yourself, but with other people. But if you're fucked up, don't get in a fight. And if you do get in a fight, don't use it as an excuse.
Do you think Dane puts pressure on them though?
When it's like a non-fight stopping injury, don't use it as an excuse. But what, like in Connor's case, where your leg just goes, I think it's reasonable.
Yeah. So you're saying like a I don't know what would be an example. Of
It's
that.
reasonable. I'm not saying it's not reasonable. I just think that it's the fight business and you're in control of your own fights.
I mean, people
You
can
don't-
break your arm.
If you don't feel like you can fight, Max Holloway just did it. Max Holloway got injured in camp and canceled his fight with Yair Rodriguez. Max Holloway is one of the top fighters and he just canceled it.
Yeah.
And it sucks for him and Yair because they're not getting paid. 100% understand that. In their camp, you know, they got to pay everybody for their camp, even though the fight never happened.
Yeah. All the
Didn't it
fucking
happen
travel costs.
with
fucking-
Whitaker too? Recently?
Whitaker had, not recently, no, but Whitaker had a couple canceled bouts when he tore his ACL a couple times back in like 2017, 2018.
Do you think the UFC allows stem cell injections?
They don't?
Really?
I don't know that for sure, but I would assume not. If you can't even use fucking IVs anymore, I don't think you can
You can't use
stem cell.
IVs?
for rehydrating or anything. Like.
Rehydration after cutting gives you an advantage.
But TJ Dillashaw
Not
is
if
actually
everybody
one of
does
the
it.
reasons for that because he literally almost fucking died.
Who's the one that showed us the? Yes, you're right. TJ Dillashaw has. There's a great YouTube video. I'm trying to think of the YouTube person that I watch. I can't remember the exact name. I'll shout him out next time. I might look at it before we go. But they have a really great video on biggest weight cuts ever, and it's not on pounds. It's based on percentage of body weight. And TJ Dillashaw has the most. And I believe it was for the Cejudo fight. He lost
Might have
like 27% of his body weight for that fight.
Yeah, he
He
was.
went from 160 to 125, or something like that.
Is it
He was
athletic
walking like
wolves?
this, like being held up by
Yeah.
people shaking. as
When he
was
went to the
walking.
weigh-in, his
Yeah.
trainer like placed him on the scale.
MMA on point.
fucking TJ.
MMA on point. Yes, that is who it is.
Because
Great YouTube channel. Go subscribe to them after you
What is this
subscribe to MMA
fucking
Complete
thumbnail
Podcast.
of TJ Dillashaw.
He
Right.
looks like a ghoul.
Literally looks like a ghoul, bro. It's gross.
And it's crazy. And you know what's even crazier? TJ did it again. And granted, that fight, he
Which
went down
fight
to
was-
flyweight to
What was
fight
that for?
Cejudo. So it's 10 pounds more. But he
Yeah.
walks around at 160, cutting 135. That's 25
gross.
pounds of a 160
I thought Cejudo
pound
moved
person.
up.
That's fucking
I think
crazy.
I
That's
think
so
it was
crazy.
135.
I'm pretty sure that was 125. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's why that was such a dramatic thing because he dropped an extra 10. But now that you say it, no, because you're right. Because that was for the bantamweight title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt. He's still fucking cut like too much weight.
It's literally like he cut more than a quarter of his body weight.
Should have died.
That's
like
like-
kidney failure.
That's
Yeah.
like me cutting 55 pounds.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. Wow.
And mind
can't
you,
even
it's
lose
me.
5 pounds.
It's like me cutting 55 pounds for him, 30 pounds in a month.
And he's also way small.
Holy fuck.
And then not only that, but gaining 10, 15 pounds in the next 2 days to put weight back on. That's bad for your body, man. Bad.
Yeah, definitely.
Can you dish me a water?
Wow.
Whoops.
Oh, thanks.
Which is why, like, you know, it really puts a great question as to, is weight cutting that beneficial?
Is
And
it
let
ethical?
me preface this by saying we're not
You're looking at
nutritionists,
stuff this all the time.
we're not physical therapists, we don't know the value in doing all that in weight distribution and all that stuff.
I do.
But like, I can see why you would do it. If you're 170 pounds walking around, you don't want to fight at 170 because you're realistically fighting a guy who's 185,
Yeah.
who's dropping 170. So I get that part of it. But like, if you're more comfortable, who's to say you can't beat a guy 10 pounds heavier than you?
Yeah.
Adesanya's a great
Adesanya's
great point for the opposite because he didn't cut any weight. He just like put
Yeah.
on a couple pounds, but he got
But-
fucked up by a guy.
Well,
So that's a different
But that guy
weight
added on
difference.
weight.
there's
It's a
dudes
different
like
weight difference.
there's dudes like that though. Like you can tell
Oh.
Justin Gaethje fights closer to 155
Mm-hmm.
than a guy like fucking Khabib. Like let's just say Khabib. Like fucking big weight difference there.
Khabib might be the biggest lightweight ever.
What was
Yeah.
the weight Connor and Diaz fought in the second
Poirier
fight?
is huge
In
too.
the second fight, 155.
Ah, okay.
All right,
No,
boys.
it was welterweight. It was.
It was?
I gotta go.
All right.
I gotta cook my concussed sister chicken.
All right, man.
So
Have fun with that. Good looks for coming through. I like
Enjoy.
Trump Saturday.
Yeah, of course. Enjoy the rest of the podcast.
Thank you.
Don't forget once again to tune in at
Yeah.
8 p.m. every Thursday.
What this guy said.
MMA Complete
Hey, you want
Podcast.
your
Boom,
agua?
boom.
Yeah, I'll take a sure.
It's pretty empty.
Garbage.
What?
Hey, by the way, don't drink raw egg whites from the carton.
Okay.
Worst stomach pain I've ever had.
Don't tell me what to do.
Okay.
Okay. I
I
will.
have a carton. I will bring it.
Raw
to you.
egg whites from the cart.
Dude, dude,
It's so weird because just the other day I was thinking about doing that.
he told us, dude. I'll tell you after.
All right. So what else? What else we got?
Do you think Leon Edwards should face Jorge Masvidal? Because I think it's an easy sell, dude. They got that backstage fight before the 3-piece. With
I think
soda.
it's an easy sell. Here's
You know, it's
the
birth.
point. And I realized that when I kind of talked about welterweight being great, and then we looked at the contenders, and I'm like, all right, maybe I was overselling it. But what do you do with Jorge now? Has Jorge reached his ceiling? Has Jorge
He's old,
gone
isn't he?
to as much as he can in the UFC?
I think the mountain has definitely peaked.
Right.
It's
Maybe.
definitely peaked.
Maybe.
And the
dude.
climb, oh man, it's fucking far, man. It's so
Dude.
far.
And not only that, but his hype was the biggest factor in him going up there. No offense, but his hype was the biggest factor in getting
that
title
flying
shots.
knee.
And that hype's
No,
pretty much
before
over.
that, I'd say before that.
Right.
No, it was he
I'd say
knocked
the
out Till,
knockout Darren Till in London.
and the fans that's when UFC fans were like, okay, he's legit. But when he flying knee Ben
Oh
Askren,
yeah, no,
that's
that
what
was
it
the breakthrough. That was the fucking to the moon.
But that's a big peak. Like you say, he's past his peak. That's a.
Oh, it absolutely is.
And
but
I mean,
it
he's
poses,
lost twice.
but
to
that
Kamaru
poses
Usman.
my question: do you put Jorge with someone who's higher in the rankings than him?
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
and when I say higher, I mean closer to
'Cause
one.
what his last fight was the champion.
Yeah.
And his fight before that,
You could
was
also the champion.
the champion.
You could also say that he's lost 2 in a row.
Yeah, to the
But
champion.
to the greatest, second greatest welterweight to ever do it.
You
I
can say
hear
him and
you.
Kobe. Him and Kobe.
I hear you. But does that
Roommates,
necessarily
old
mean that
roommates.
he has to fight a top 3 guy now?
It's
He's number 7, which is unjust for him. I think he should be 5 ahead of Luke and Kiss,
why are you gonna
personally.
give Connor Dustin again, like people are saying, but not give
Connor's? You can't compare him.
Not
to
yet.
Connor.
Not yet.
But-
couple years, 3 years, 3 years. Maybe
You
if
just
Connor's still
can't.
in it.
Connor is the single biggest outlier the UFC's ever seen, and that probably will never be broken. Connor might be the best technical striker the UFC ever saw in that 4-year period, and his hype is so much better than his skill. No great fighter can you say that about. No great fighter, like really great fighter, can you say their hype is like by far even better than their skill.
yeah.
He-
But he doesn't
I
have a
don't
lot
think
of
you can
hype.
say that.
His skill is better than his height.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You can't say the opposite for
Oh, you
anybody
can't?
except for Connor. Who can you say is a legitimate world-class UFC fighter, but their hype is even bigger?
Charles Oliveira, maybe? No, that's
Maybe-
He does not have a lot of hype.
He does not have a lot of height.
Maybe, and this is a long shot.
Kamaru
Adesanya?
Usman has a lot of height. A lot
Adesanya.
of skill.
I would say no. Adesanya's up there. He's one of the most hyped up guys, but Adesanya's legitimate
Yeah, he is,
world-class
but he's-
kickboxer. And he doesn't have, his last pay-per-view sold 700K.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, with just him, which I mean, I guess is not that bad. It's the same amount as John Jones would do.
Well, in that era of John
Yeah.
Jones, I think John Jones is going to sell more his next one.
I agree.
Yeah,
I think that
John Jones is also
it's
a
interesting
very
you
hated
say
guy.
John Jones. I would say the next closest person to Connor as far as they're great, but their hype is even fucking bigger.
John Jones.
Francis Ngannou.
Francis Ngannou.
No, I'd say Usman. Nah, I
No,
don't even
because
know.
Usman's skills
Usman's
fuck.
crazy, bro. But with
Ngannou. I
Ngannou.
mean,
I think we haven't
Yeah,
even
I
seen the
mean-
best of Ngannou yet, though. So I don't think
Neither
you can
have
say
I.
that yet.
Isn't that scary?
Yeah, I think
Isn't
he's
that
getting
so
better, dude.
all
scary?
right, all right. Yeah, but he's
Yeah.
what, 34?
I think he's
Yeah,
36?
34.
34. Really?
34 and never been knocked out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he has no mileage on his tank.
Yeah.
We saw him fight Stipe and he looked like he was 25.
Mhm.
He's built different in those salt mines.
So built different.
Built different.
He's built different than built different.
Yeah.
Breathing in salt air and everything, bro. Is running through his veins.
The only person that can beat Ngannou is Ngannou.
Yeah, he should train in like Denver, so he just has
What about John Jones?
unreal cardio.
That's what I'm saying. Like John Jones could totally defeat Francis Ngannou, but it will be in part to Francis Ngannou fucking up.
I think
Because if Francis Ngannou has a perfect game plan and
Plays
executes perfectly, he's beating John Jones.
Yeah.
He just is.
Where does
That
he
guy
fight
can
out
literally
of?
knock out anybody in the world.
What's his team?
Ngannou?
So I'm wondering if his
if Nagano was just, had just like a mean voice or just like trash talk or like anything like Mike Tyson, like bro, this guy would be so.
But he's not. He's like
Fucking
one of the
big.
nicest
I know.
guys ever. He really
Yeah,
is
I
a
know.
super
He is.
humble, really nice
Yeah,
guy.
But if I'm just saying, like, bro, the hype with even just like heavyweight, like even the name heavyweight
Fights out of
just
France.
sells.
interesting.
I don't think that's completely true because I think he's in America now.
Yeah. But like, I don't know how good his coaching is. And if his manager sucks, like Dana White's saying,
I wouldn't. Yeah.
I wonder if he's not getting the best coaching he could.
I'm sure that Dana White is exaggerating that Francis Ngannou's sucks. Francis Ngannou's manager sucks. I'm sure he is, because in Dana's mind, that's the one guy trying to get Ngannou paid, which is the one thing Dana White's not trying to do. So yeah, he sucks.
I guess.
Basically, I would guess that he's saying that his manager sucks because Francis' manager is like, give us $5 million for the next fight.
Yeah.
And Dana's like, why would you say that? It's such an outlandish number, when in reality it's not.
It's not.
But Dana White just wants to push that out, that that's an outlandish number.
Yeah.
That's Dana's job. That's why I say I say a lot of shit about Dana, about how he's cheap, about how he does things a certain way that kind of fucks up his own way. But it's totally his job, and he does everything that the best promoter in the world would do.
Sells the fight more by denying the fight. It's so weird. I don't know.
When that gets announced, when Francis Jones gets announced,
Stipe's
door's
pissed
gonna
that he's not
But
getting
listen,
a rematch.
they had lightning in a. Stipe is getting a rematch though. It's just not right away.
Yeah, he's pissed.
Dana's
about
already
that.
said that.
He's pissed. He came out and said it.
I'm pretty sure Dana White would be fine if John Jones never fought in the UFC again.
probably, yeah.
Yeah.
I really do think.
Well, he
that.
doesn't like him. And when Dana
I don't
doesn't
think
like
he doesn't
a
like
fighter,
him. John Jones has said he wants 15 mil plus
yeah,
if he fights
bold.
Ngannou.
That's bold. That's up there.
Dylan just texted
Yeah, so that what he said.
me looking at judges' scorecards at Dillashaw Sanhagen, thinking how did this Oh,
It's Hasbulla looking at the phone. Hasbulla versus Ngannou.
You know what's interesting to me? Do you think so John Jones has a UFC contract.
Yeah.
That contract, I don't know the details. I would assume it has stipulations like you have 2 fights left on your contract, or you have 2 years left on your contract. What if John Jones leaves the UFC and a private benefactor puts up the money for Jones and Ngannou? I say that only because that is an outlandish theory to have. But I say that only because, do you remember how Poirier McGregor 2 initially was an exhibition in Ireland? And then as soon as that got made, the UFC was like, no, we'll pay you. No, you're going to fight at UFC.
Dude, but
Yeah, I mean,
Dude. imagine this. Tyron Woodley versus Jake Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Co-main event. Ngannou Jones main event.
There is not a single thing in the world that would stop Jones and Ngannou being the main event.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Co-main
Conor
event.
McGregor could be on that card and he would be the co-main event.
That's what I said. Woodley.
How's that
versus-
for a take?
Woodley versus Paul.
game
I agree.
wrong.
No, I agree.
You can't make that.
That's the
comment.
fight to make of all time, I think, right now.
You go home.
Of all time.
bro.
Other than
I
maybe,
agree. That is the number one fight I want to see.
other than maybe,
GSP Khabib is there,
that's what I was about to say.
but it's almost
GS
certainly never going to happen.
GSP Kamaru Usman.
That's it.
Khabib Kamaru Usman.
3.
It's never going to happen.
It's never
They're
gonna
they're good friends. They've said they're never going to fight. Same thing with Usman Adesanya.
Bitch.
But oh my God, Usman Khabib.
Bro.
Oh my God, who wins that?
I'm tweeting that.
Khabib.
I'm tweeting that poll right now. We got a couple
It's
polls. just
probably
finished.
Khabib, isn't it?
Yeah.
Couple polls just finished up. I just want to announce Nick Diaz versus Robbie. 13 votes.
Nick Diaz.
Nick Diaz 62%.
Come on, guys.
Robbie 38%.
Come on.
Don't say the votes, just the percentage.
Okay. Islam Makhachev. Rafael Dos Anjos.
78% is on Makhachev.
77, 23%. And yeah, that's it.
All right,
Shio Gain, 26%.
Yeah.
we're at 9:10, which means we have. I'm not going past 9:30, but we
Yeah.
can stop earlier. What is the number one fight? If you could have a fight between anybody, let's not jump more than one division. You can go lightweight and welterweight.
Okay.
No matter if they're best friends, they said they're never going to fight. One of them is retired. Like, what is the
GSP.
one dream match, if you could pick any that you would want to see right now.
GSP
Right
Khabib, and I don't give a shit.
Damn.
GSP Khabib. I want to know who wins that fight.
I have a silly one and I
I-
have a real one.
I think about that fight at least once a day. Once a day, I think about that fight. GSP Khabib, who's winning?
Yeah.
I have an answer now, but I fucked myself by saying you can't go more than one division.
What do you think?
John Jones, Adesanya.
Nah, it's
I want to
That's
see
John
Jones.
all day.
I want to
If
see
it's a
Jones and
205,
Ngannou more.
maybe.
If it's a 205, right? I want to see Jones and Ngannou more. But that fight is also up there.
Yeah.
I just want to see John Jones fight, man.
Jones used to be at 205, so I mean that's not. My silly one is Prime.
If we're going prime versus prime,
Yeah.
then that can be even better.
Yeah, my fucking I can't think of his name. I'm an idiot. Brock Lesnar
Mm-hmm.
versus Francis Ngannou. Prime. That'd just be
Prime.
nuts.
So like right now Ngannou versus
Yeah.
like 2009 Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, that'd just be nuts. Slugfest, dude.
Dude, I think Brock Lesnar wins.
Maybe.
Dude, I
That'd
think
just be
Brock
an
Lesnar
insane
wins.
Fight.
Brock Lesnar was the best wrestler in the division for like 2 years.
Yeah.
Way better than
Steroid?
Francis.
Are we talking steroid?
Well,
Hell yeah,
we
do
said-
some both of
We
them.
said
Let's go.
prime Lesnar, and
Let's
prime
go.
Lesnar is like 60% steroids. So
And Ngannou's on like natural steroids. Like he's just
if we're talking prime,
my real one, by the way, is
I have a better one.
yeah,
I have an out there one. If we're talking prime versus prime,
yeah.
okay, hear me out. Because this is not one that you would think of. I don't know why you just hit me. Prime Conor McGregor.
Mhm.
Just beat Jose Aldo
I think I know who you're gonna say.
2016
Yeah.
versus prime, like right now,
Oh, okay.
Max Holloway.
Ooh,
That's a good
that'd be a
fight.
fun one.
That's a good
That'd be a
fight.
very fun one.
That's like one of the best stand-up battles I can think of.
I need to see GSP Khabib.
Yeah,
man.
I was gonna say
GSP
Usman and
Khabib's
GSP.
up there.
I just need to see it. Like that's
GS
the one. That's the one.
I think GSP Usman is almost more attractive to me than GSP Khabib.
Yeah, no, it's those two. It's those two for me. It's
Yeah.
But Jones
either one.
and Ngannou is my number one dream matchup. It is.
Yeah,
That's number 3 for me.
and that's
number 3.
realistic, so that's cool.
Yeah, and it's gonna happen. So that's a good dream to have.
Yeah.
It's a dream come true.
Could Stipe beat John Jones?
What if Lewis? Okay.
Maybe.
What if Ngannou loses to Lewis before John Jones can face him?
Then Dana White blew his fucking chance.
Yeah.
Then Dana White
Dana White
fucked
fucked
up. That's what that means. And I get you can recover it, but it's never going to be the same. And that is worst case scenario for Dana White.
Then make Lewis fight Jones. Lewis knocks out Jones, and Lewis becomes the greatest heavyweight.
Oh
of all
my
time.
God! Imagine
Let's go.
that
It
shit.
needs to be the belt, though. It needs
That'd
to
be
be more belt.
nuts.
Imagine
He
fucking
beats both
Derek
of them. He's like,
Lewis.
fight both of those guys, bro.
He's like,
Wow.
yo, my balls ain't hot.
Yeah.
Wow,
Can Stipe Miocic beat John Jones?
Yeah, he can.
it's a good fight.
Dude, if Daniel Cormier could beat Stipe, or
Dude, John
if-
Jones is
yeah.
still.
If Stipe can beat
if
Cormier,
Stipe can beat Cormier,
John Jones is what, 35, 36?
31.
John Jones is 31.
I think he just turned 32, like a week ago. Yeah.
he's young.
Yes. Yes.
He was the
Exactly.
youngest champion in UFC.
Dude has
history
been
at the time.
fighting title fights for 8 years.
Yeah. When's the last-
Title fights.
last time-
The best resume in MMA history.
This dude is crazy. And he was laid off for fucking years.
He hasn't fought since December of
Suspended.
19.
He was just, yeah, I know.
Reyes.
And he was suspended for a year and a half. And then before that, 6 months. Exactly. Exactly.
Imagine if you could have kept it together.
Bro, if he could have kept it together, he'd be like 33-1 by now.
He would have ran through.
He probably would have been a champ.
Champ.
He's the only
I
one
don't
that
think he
could
can
have
make
been
185. I don't think John Jones can make 185. Because even before he was a heavyweight, he was walking around at like 230.
There needs to be another weight class. It needs to be a one.
There needs to be 2 more weight
It
classes.
needs to be a 195 weight class.
I would think that like
Yeah.
195 to 215, and then 215 to 250, and then 250 plus would be ideal.
No, because you can't change heavyweight. Heavyweight needs to stay at 265.
All right, well, you could even do that 215 to 265.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
265 plus.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I like the idea of a super heavyweight until you get this one fucking what's the tree from Game of Thrones? Some I don't know his name.
I don't know. I
The
didn't watch
three-eyed
Game of
Ree,
Thrones.
the crow. I don't
No, the huge guy.
Groot.
Oh,
Oh,
Odor.
Hodor.
Hodor.
What's his nickname?
Hold the door.
Hodor.
What's his nickname? He's like they call him like the tree.
Yeah,
Like he's
sure.
like 6'8", 350
I know what you're
pound
saying though.
bodybuilder.
Just like a
Yeah.
Until one of those fucking guys goes in the UFC and literally just
Eddie
like
Hall. You know who Eddie Hall
flips
is?
everybody and knocks him out.
There's a video of a bodybuilder throwing a 25-pound medicine ball. It hits him in the jaw, like would knock a normal person out. And he just fucking like looks at him and laughs at him. Like
Right.
they could eat
Right.
anything.
So once you get
No
one of
one's
those
knocking
fucking
anyone
guys, and granted, all of those guys would not.
That's
They would
proven
literally
fights.
they would literally set fire to a USADA cup. Literally, they would.
Yeah.
But like, there's gonna be some 320-pound, 7-foot guy who just absolutely wrecks everybody.
Yeah,
so that's
yeah.
why you can't do super heavyweight.
Make that division steroids allowed.
It's a tough buy, you know. How can you have 15 people? How can you have 15 contenders? You know what I mean? Or I just don't see it.
I would be in favor of just.
But if they make
Doing-
it happen, we'll watch
I would
it.
be in favor of just doing like heavyweight, like to 280.
But that
Mm.
that kind of
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't like moving the weight class. I
yeah,
like
it tosses
creating
it
them.
up.
I like creating them and like not moving like the weights.
If you make heavyweight right now 280, Stipe is irrelevant, I think.
If you make it 280, that just means Stipe, you like go get 15 pounds of muscle.
Yeah, the problem.
Go come in at 260.
There's just nothing from 205 to 265, dude. Like, why can't you have a 215?
Well, that's what I was just saying.
Yeah, I know. Like, why can't you have that? But I'm not saying. Yeah, but you can't move heavyweight to 280. It's got to stay at 265 because that's heavyweight.
Right.
You
I
know,
agree.
that's what I mean.
So maybe super heavyweight is just like 265 to 300.
Yeah.
Maybe you just cap it at 300, 315, something.
But
like
Yeah.
who would fight at that? Other than Ngannou?
Because no heavyweights
right
fighting like Stipe.
I
is at
think like
240.
Cyril Gane could. I think Cyril Gane could put out more muscle.
Yeah.
I think guys like Rosenstrike could. And then you never know with these other guys. Like who knows if you
Stipe
make a
could drop.
division that could go to 300, maybe in the next 6 months we're like, wow, this guy is like the greatest MMA fighter ever, and he just would have never been able to compete because he weighs
He's
290
massive.
pounds.
Yeah. I mean, Stipe.
That's what happens in like the flyweight division and women's
Yeah,
divisions.
that's
Like all of a
very
sudden
true.
you're like, where the fuck did this person come from?
Yeah, women's they cut weight different though. You know?
Well, yeah, but I just mean like the
Yeah,
initial
yeah.
inception.
No, I got you. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I like the ideas of more division, but I mean, would that make other people go up and down, and then you're ruining that division? Like, you would be ruining the heavyweight division.
Maybe.
Yes and no. I think that there would be
You gotta
there would
ruining
be
it.
a gap. There'd be a 4-month gap where you got heavyweights that are seeing if they should be in super heavyweight and super heavyweights thinking if they should be in heavyweight. But after that clears, like it would be the same thing as any other division now. Like you have a guy that if they're
It would
losing,
definitely-
they'd go
it
up
would be
to a
less
division and try
competitive.
it.
It would definitely be less
I don't think
competitive.
it'd be less competitive. The trick is you would only be able to open up the division if you had like at least 20 guys that could fucking do it. That's the trick. Because when the last division was created, flyweight, which was like 2014, whenever Demetrius Johnson came around,
Yeah.
it was different. You could have 13 fighters in a division, and that'd be all right.
Yeah.
That's fine. You can't do that anymore. You just can't.
Yeah. No, you can't. Especially now, like fights every week. That's why I think it's possible to have more divisions now. They've been doing it for a year, right?
I think so too. You know what I think is the biggest logical step for MMA? I think there needs to be a second powerhouse organization, whether it's LFA or ONE or Bare Knuckle or whatever. I
Yeah.
think there's going to be another one, and it's not going to be the next year. It's not going to be 2 years. It's going to be in like 8 years.
I was gonna say like look at NFL. but then you got college.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
like a farm system or
No, a completely separate organization. Competition for the UFC. One, I think would. Strikeforce had a real good shot at it for a while. Strikeforce is kind of on the downswing. Bellator really is the number 2 right now.
Who's
One
the
is
guy
also
in
there.
Bellator? Douglas Lima?
I don't know. I know that Bellator. I'm pretty sure Bellator's biggest name right now is Ryan Bader.
Right.
Ryan Bader used to be in the light heavyweight, and now he's the heavyweight, and he's a Chris Cyborg's there too. He's the champ in Bellator. I'm pretty sure heavyweight and light heavyweight.
Yeah, I think Lima is the current welterweight champion of Bellator, and there were talks of him fighting Usman, and Dana shut it down instantly. But
yeah,
he's good. I've watched one of his fights.
Yeah, that's
He's
funny.
crazy.
Yeah,
if
that's
I'm Dana
interesting.
White, I don't take any questions of anything that has to do with any other organization. I don't even talk about them because, let alone people that don't follow MMA, just MMA fans, like 70, more than 50% think that UFC is the only organization. They don't even know about LFA and ONE and Bellator. They might have heard of it.
Yeah.
Right.
They don't know it's like a legit.
It's like a AAA.
And then you
AA,
talk about people who only know Conor, and you say Bellator to them, and you're like, I no clue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No
clue. No, you got a really good point there. But I mean, if you think of the UFC now, the UFC is still on such a small scale, but it's big.
I don't think you could say it's a small scale anymore. I think COVID really brought out the best of UFC.
Look at how big Adesanya is, dude. And he's only selling 700,000 pay-per-views.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying, oh shit, what happened?
That's a lot. A lot of pay-per-views.
weird.
Dude.
It is a lot of pay-per-views. But I mean, you look at how many people watch the NFL, look at how many people watch baseball.
But you're spending money on the UFC.
Right.
You can't
That's another part of it.
just turn it on your TV.
That's another part of it.
We'll wait till this free event
That's what I mean.
on ESPN.
We should start tracking viewing of fight nights. That would tell us a lot.
No, yeah. Oh, for
like the
for
free
the
fight
UFC?
nights. Yeah.
Yeah, just see what UFC, and
On
you're not going to see
ESPN.
what buys is, but I'm sure ESPN can track how many people watch it.
Oh yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
That would be interesting to see.
Start making better fight nights.
Do you think it's more or less than pay-per-views?
They are.
It's probably pretty similar.
It's probably less.
It's probably less, but it's probably not as much less as we might think.
They have been making the fight nights better.
I've seen my dad, who's not a UFC fan by any stretch of the
Yeah.
and I've walked in on him just watching fight nights.
Right.
I'm like, dude, I didn't know you watched UFC. He's like, oh, it was on, so I'm watching it.
That's a very interesting, because we were just talking about Jan Sterling might be on free TV.
Dude, it's a great sport
That's really interesting.
that you can put on your TV, watch a fight,
Like,
and walk
shit.
away.
Yeah.
And then come back in 20 minutes, 15
another
minutes,
fight.
and there's another fight.
Right.
You're like, oh shit. You know, it's
Oh shit.
You're like, oh shit, like this
Beating
guy's
the
getting
fuck out of
beaten
each
the
other.
fuck out of. This chick's putting that chick in an arm bar. It's like crazy.
Yeah.
And as the time goes on, like more and more people are signing for jiu-jitsu.
Mhm.
There's 10 years ago, there was no blue belts, and now there's a blue belt everywhere. It's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I would like to see a jiu-jitsu organization come into effect.
That's the other thing. Imagine a Muay Thai or jiu-jitsu organization that just comes in.
Because I think the UFC has made that market.
Here's the thing.
The UFC is the NFL of
The problem with making an organization for a single martial art is that eventually you're going to have stars, and though you want those stars to drive ratings for your promotion, but you're not going to be able to pay them enough to keep them out of UFC. You know what I mean? As soon as you get a guy who's really good in a jiu-jitsu, he's going to go to UFC because he's going to make 20 times as much.
That's the same thing with having a rival to the UFC.
Right.
Anyone in Bellator right now, if their contract ended and they were offered a UFC contract, I think anybody would take it.
I don't think so, because UFC is so big that they can bleed out people. You know, they can take Chris Moutinho, who had some success in other parts, and pay him $12,000 to go fight Sean O'Malley on a pay-per-view.
$35,000 fight bonus.
Right, but his contract was $12,000.
That's it.
Quit his
That's
job.
nice.
Quit his
Yes.
job. Yeah, but look at the opportunity he got. Look at the name.
And that's
he
why
got
you
built.
can do it. And that's why
why
you can do it.
That's why the UFC is so much better than the
Imagine that kid.
UFC,
right now,
it's not a monopoly, but it's as close to a sports monopoly as you're going to
Let's look
find.
how many followers he has on Twitter. Just Twitter, because before the fight,
We don't have to get into this. We got 5 minutes.
no,
he made
no.
triple-
He had
hit
300
triple.
followers on Twitter
bro.
before the fight, and now he has like an absurd amount,
Probably
like
100,000.
35,000,
Yeah, shit. Okay. But yeah.
just from one fight, from getting his ass beat, fucking face pummeled in. Wow,
Just eating fast, man.
like what a
Man.
well-known guy now, and now he just teaches classes.
But what's interesting
Was in class 2 days later.
What's interesting? No, he was in class
Like,
the next day.
Next day. Sorry.
What's interesting about looking at the UFC from a business organizational standpoint, comparing it to an NFL or NHL or NBA, is that the NBA or the NFL is the best monopolistic comparison for a business, a
Yeah.
sports company.
Yep.
The NFL, however, has a tree where owners and conferences and leagues.
There's no NBA.
Well, hold on.
Okay.
The NFL has the American Football Conference and the
National.
National Football Conference. Now, both of just those two things, not mentioning the teams at all, the AFC and the NFC has a corporation behind it with owners and board members.
Yeah.
And then you have each team, which has an owner, and the owner is
Yeah.
really the most influential person in the entire league anyway.
Pretty much.
And then you have the rosters. The roster's the guy that makes the money, but they're making money, but they're not a real great, they don't have the power that the owners have,
Yeah.
and they don't have the unions, or the NFL has unions. And then you go to UFC, and it's just like one owner. There's technically, like, Zuffa used to, I can't remember the exact corporation that owns the UFC right now. Dana White's up there. He's the head promoter.
Yep.
And then you just have a bunch of roster
A lot of
players.
celebrities and stuff.
Like it's such crazy to think about where it'll be in the next couple of years, because if you think about the UFC from an organizational standpoint, it's basically what the NFL was in like the 40s or 50s.
Kind of,
It
yeah.
really is,
I would
because
say it's like the NBA, dude, because the NBA is what they got G League. Oh, college. Never mind. I always forget about college.
well,
dude.
just from the
I don't watch
the
college.
fact that the fighters have no power,
Yeah.
no power. Conor McGregor has power. John
Dude, they got
Jones has power.
man. Like Chris Montino, like he went from 300 followers to 35,000.
Meanwhile,
Dude,
Dana
he
White
can
has
sell
50
merchandise.
million.
He can sell merchandise now. He can get some T-shirts going. Like,
And
they
that's a
don't take-
little bit of power, but compared to Dana,
You can start your own whiskey company. You can start your own.
if you're Conor McGregor,
yeah,
you can-
but
you
you
have
can get your
these-
own hot sauce.
no,
you
I'm
can
not
start
saying
shit.
that they don't have opportunities, because of course they do. Life is what you
Exposure.
make
It's all
of it.
exposure.
It's
Dude,
exposure,
they get a
exactly.
ton of exposure. They
But
get a
when
ton
you
of
look
sponsors.
the, and I can't think of the word that describes what I'm talking about, but when you think about the makeup of the business standpoint of every other sports company, NFL, MLB, NHL, NBA, and then you look at UFC, the NFL has like owners, and then below them, and then below them, and then below them, and then like the union, and then the players.
Yeah.
The UFC has like the owner, and then Dana White, and then the fighters.
Yeah. Well,
You know, that's it. There's no UFC union.
the fighters have managers and they have negotiations.
Yes, they do.
But yeah, Dana
the
at the end of the
managers,
day does
but the
have.
managers and the agents have no
Yeah.
business role in the UFC at all.
Dana
They have
makes
business
the
role for their
fights,
fighters.
Hey man, it's like you got to take advantages when they're brought to you in the UFC.
I completely agree.
And, you got to be smart with yourself. Like GSP didn't take every fight offered to him. If everybody took every fight offered to him, bro, you'd be a fucking mess. You would never be the champion, dude. If you're taking, it's kind of a bad thing to say, but if you're taking every fight, you got to be smart with your fights.
Yeah.
And take fights that make sense.
I agree. I just thought it's interesting to point out that the UFC is still in its, I think, infancy of its organizational business.
No, that's what I mean. It's small, but it's big.
Right.
It's a very
It's top
small
heavy.
but big business.
5
It's-
years from now,
I'd say
Who
5-10
fucking
years.
knows,
I think
man?
it's going to be as big. I think it could be as big as soccer.
Yeah.
Just because everyone's from all over the place. It's all
it's
over
the
the
shock
world.
factor. The shock factor is the only reason that it's not huge yet, because obviously not everybody wants to watch people fight violently.
Imagine-
That's the biggest thing.
I'm just saying, if you had 3 McGregors, I mean, fuck.
Well,
Shit. And
We're
3
gonna. There's
three
gonna
McGregors
be.
in 3 different divisions, talking shit all the time, fighting every other 2, 3,
You're
4
getting one.
months.
You're getting if he wins Covington,
Dude.
if Covington beats Usman, dude, that's a
Dude.
new McGregor. I think that's
Bro.
your guy.
I don't think he's on the level.
He would
could
sell.
be if he was a champion.
He would sell. He would sell.
And he's Republican. Republicans
Here's
are gonna
the
eat that
thing.
shit up, bro.
Here's the thing that separates Covington and McGregor, though. McGregor shit talked and people loved him for it.
People hate him.
Covington shit talks and people hate him for it.
Is that a bad thing, though?
It's not a
people
bad
hate
thing,
him.
but
People like him though.
it's not a
I
bad
like
thing.
him. I like him.
Right.
Fucking love
Some people like him, but everybody fucking loved
Oh,
Conor
yeah.
McGregor when he was coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people,
It's the accent.
Right.
It's the accent.
I'm sure that we'll
Straight
see
up.
another Conor McGregor type in the next 10 years.
That's a unicorn.
In the next 10 years, though, I'm sure that there's going
In
to be
10
one
years?
person.
Look at how long it took to find him.
But
Look at the NHL. They've
don't
never
you
had a guy
think?
like
Don't you
That's
think that if given
remarkable stuff.
the opportunity to, John Jones could be?
I mean, there's Canelo. I mean, how long did boxing get to find him? Floyd. Not to get off of, I'm staying on topic, but
Well, boxing has always had a
I-
will. They've always
but
had
look at
someone
you
that's
had Mike
bigger than life.
Tyson and fucking.
You got Joe Louis and Muhammad Ali
You
and
had multiple.
Carl
You
Frazier
had
and Pernell
multiple
Whitaker.
McGregors, dude.
And, yeah.
That's
And
what
What's it
Vander
gonna-
Onstad to Mike
so
Tyson.
great.
What's it gonna take for the UFC to have another McGregor? Like, what's that person gonna be like? You think?
It's so hard because people, dude, the UFC flies through people, man. Like,
I think that one day, and it's not going to be in the next couple of years, but one day there will be someone who is larger than life because of his skill.
Because of his skill.
And I mean that by like someone comes in and they are literally like 30-0, like it could be, but
yeah.
like 40-0, knocking people out. And it doesn't necessarily have to be the hype because I believe in a couple of years people will get more of an appreciation for skill
Yeah.
and more of knowledge about the sport like we have.
Mm.
And I think that will
5
be able
years
to
from now?
sell it.
Hopefully.
So I think that will be the next guy. But if we get a shit talker from Russia,
Oof.
I think he could do it.
Bro,
Because
but
Russia
we-
is one country that will die for their
Yeah.
star, like Ireland did for McGregor, which was a huge reason for McGregor's success because
Dude.
that whole fucking country
Yeah.
was behind him.
Khabib. I think Khabib jumping into the crowd hurt his legacy, man.
I don't think it
Hurt
did.
his image.
I think that's
He
like
became-
when you think of Khabib, that's like the 20th thing you think of.
I don't know.
It's like the
That's-
fourth.
It's like the.
You think of
second
when you think of
for me.
Khabib, you
I
think of him
I
jumping
am
in the
beating,
crowd.
I
I
think
think
of
of beating
Khabib.
McGregor, and then I think of him jumping into the crowd.
Really?
I think
Yeah.
of
I almost don't even think of him as a fighter first when I think of Khabib now.
I think of the
Really?
Bucks.
I think of him as like a good ambassador. I think of him as like an ambassador
Yeah.
type.
Yeah, but him jumping into the crowd, man, you saw a different animal. You know what I mean? It's just like a different person.
by the way
Like that homo guy. That homo guy wasn't
Yeah,
there.
right.
You know. I think again, the guy is the greatest. Is he the greatest fighter of all time, or is he the greatest lightweight
most
of all
dominant.
time?
Maybe most
Khabib,
dominant
yes.
fighter.
Khabib's the greatest lightweight of all time.
Yeah, but is he the greatest of all time in
No.
general, or is he just the greatest?
Are you talking MMA fighter?
Yeah.
Well, if you want to know the answer to that, go check out MMA Complete Podcast episode 53, where we broke down our top 10 MMA fighters of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys not give
Yeah.
my list?
Yeah, we gave you a list.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
That's why we gave you shit for having John Jones at 7.
Fuck John Jones. Bro. He hasn't earned it yet. I don't think he's earned it yet.
Dude, oh my god.
Fuck that
He
guy.
hasn't earned it yet.
Who's he beating? Daniel Cormier twice. Almost lost to Gustafsson. Almost lost to Dominic Reyes. Fuck off.
That is wow. Rashad Evans, Shogun Hua, Rampage Jackson, Gustafsson twice, Cormier twice. I'm missing so many. Glover Teixeira, Anthony Smith.
Anthony Smith. That's a stretch to include Anthony Smith on that list.
It's not the listen. He
Look,
has
he almost lost twice against lesser opponents, and he should have lost against Reyes. Straight up, just should have lost.
That's a decent argument.
And probably should have lost against Gustafsson.
I don't think he should have.
I remember.
I think that was a close fight, but I think that Jones got the rightful decision.
Bro, I didn't watch that fight live, and I watched it as like a free fight when he was fighting Daniel Cormier for the second time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was watching it not knowing what the outcome was because I didn't understand the concept of the free fight. So I was like, oh shit. And I was like, oh, so John Jones has lost? And then they were like, oh, he won. And I was like,
John Jones probably won 4th and 5th round pretty decisively in that fight, though. And that's where John Jones' magic is. If you look at all those fights, you mentioned the Dominic Reyes fight,
Yeah.
mentioned the Gustafsson fight that he almost lost. All of those fights, I don't know the statistic off the top of my head, but if you look at his fights, go look at the 4th and 5th round of his fights that have gone that far. It's like 95% of them he wins. And that's an aspect of itself.
Yeah.
What do you do in championship rounds? What do you do in fucking crunch time? And John Jones almost always fucking delivers. It's not that John Jones has the greatest resume, which I'd even argue that he does. But even besides the fact, it's the fact that dude has been in championship fights since he was 23, and he has not lost one. He's not lost one. Khabib was in championship fights for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Jones did it for 7.
7, but it was stretched out.
22. He was
23.
champion.
23.
He was younger than us.
23.
He took years
He
off.
was the
dude.
same age as us,
He took
and he was fucking
years off in
champion.
between.
Yeah, he ran over somebody, and
He didn't
Ran
run
over
him over.
somebody.
He didn't run him over.
Did a bunch
She had a
of
hit and run against a pregnant woman in her car, but she did not get run over. Ryan Bader,
DUI.
Mauricio Hua, Rampage Jackson, Lyoto Machida, Rashad Evans, Vitor Belfort, Chael Sonnen, Gustafsson, Glover Teixeira, Cormier, Oven St. Preux, Gustafsson, Anthony Smith, Thiago Santos, Dominic Reyes. That's
Wow.
fucking
That's pretty
names, man. That's
names.
names. I know it's
Alright,
not
you
that
said
impressive.
that's fine.
I know it's not that impressive, but for 2013 to beat Hua, Rampage, Machida, Evans, Belfort, and Sonnen, that 6 was legendary. It was literally legendary. That's like 6 of the top 8 fighters at that time in that division.
Overdue, yeah. 138 to 53, not even close. Closest fights. Gustafsson
He choked Lyoto Machida unconscious.
walked away.
Unconscious. He knocked out Shogun, I believe, for the first time in the UFC, beating him 75-9 strikes. Vitor Belfort, he should have got his arm snapped.
Yeah.
But he came through. I mean, if you want to say that John Jones shouldn't be top 5 because he got bopped for steroids, that's Mark's argument. That's fair.
That's part of my argument.
And that's totally fair. I'm a John Jones fan. He's my favorite UFC fighter, and I try not to be biased. But I just can't hear you if you say John Jones is number 7. I literally don't even hear the words coming out of your mouth. You know what I mean? Like it's not a linguistic thing. I just have no communication.
Definitely at least top
Well, who did I have?
You had, I think, Nunes at number 1.
there. You had Usman up
I had Nunez at number 2.
there. Usman is up there, but he's not that up there.
GSP number 1. Nunez number 2. Khabib number 3. Anderson Silva number 4.
You can't put Anderson Silva above John Jones.
Demetrius Johnson number 5.
You cannot put Demetrius Johnson above John Jones.
Stipe number 6. And Stipe is
Stipe is not a terrible
That's your
argument.
best argument, but you
Really?
can't do it.
I would say that Stipe,
I also made this list in 15 minutes.
that's fair.
Okay.
So if I were to redo it, and I would redo it,
Bro, we changed our list like 20 times before we
We
did the
talked
pod.
about it for the full week
I'll
of that
stand
fight.
my ground on Jones not being top 3 though. But I'll put him at 5.
So you're going to keep Silva at 4?
I'll put Silva at 6, right behind Jones.
So who's your top 4?
Top 4 would be GSP, Khabib, Nunez, Jones, Stipe.
That's fine.
I like that.
That's totally fine.
Respect.
I'm with that. Amanda Nunes,
She's
like,
just so dominant.
Amanda
She's
Nunes,
never gonna lose.
you 100% could put her at number 1.
No, you can't. You can't put her at number 1.
I think we had her number 3. We combined all lists and did like averages. I think she was 3.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was John Jones, GSP, Nunez, Khabib.
I might listen to that podcast tomorrow.
And then I think
like
5 5 was either Usman, Stipe, or Mighty Mouse. I think it might have been Mighty Mouse.
It was my 8.
All right, boys, it's 9:40.
Yeah.
I think this is about a wrap. This has been a good pod, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Been
been
a long
good
one.
time.
This
2 hours.
is the longest pod we've done in a while.
2 hours.
So respect to that.
2 hours, 15 minutes, just
Um,
about. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Make sure you check out
My Thursday debut.
Yep,
Yeah,
Kobe's
debut.
Thursday debut.
Your
Thank you
debut.
for coming in, bro.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
So make sure you check out our live stream 2 weeks from now on August 7th for UFC
No, we're
265.
doing it next. When's the next pay-per-view? Next week?
2 weeks from now.
Oh, it is? Okay.
265, where we're going to be live streaming. We're going to have the exact time mapped out for next week because I won't be here till like 10:30. But we will be live streaming just about the full main card,
Might
like
go
we
to
do
Dylan's.
for every event.
Yeah, I might set up at Dill's.
So make sure you check that out. Go check out Naked Sports, where we've been putting out articles. I put out another UFC article yesterday.
Nice. I'll tweet that out.
Go follow us. I think I retweeted it from our MMA Complete.
Did you?
Yeah. Go follow us on MMA Complete at @complete_MMA. Our Twitter's been just been bumping. It's been doing great. So
Really?
that's a great follow. Thank everybody for tuning in. We do it every Thursday. Episode 57 in the books, 58 next week.
Yeah.
This will be pay-per-view, I think 13 we've done. So
13? Damn.
I think it's 13.
Over a year.
Over a year.
We've done it over a year.
Yeah. And yeah,
The grind
keep
continues.
progressing. Keep progressing. Getting better every day. That's what it's
Yeah.
about. It's not about the
They're
big gains.
They're
It's about
getting-
a lot of small gains.
They're
So,
getting better free flowing, I feel like.
yeah. All right. So thank you everybody for tuning in. We're gonna get out of here. Have a good week. We'll see you next Thursday, and then for the pay-per-view 2 days after August 7th.
Hell yeah.